From the Schmoes Know Network studios in Los Angeles, California, which is about to be hit with the biggest storm since The Ring was returned to Mordor. It's the Schmoes Know Movies Show. Tonight, special guest COMICBOOKGIRL19. And a look at the Golden Globe nominations and the return of Schmoes Choice. And now, here's your host, braving the clouds and all, Kristian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and returning from the world abroad, Alicia Malone.
Hello, Schmoeville. Don't call Alicia Malone abroad. It is so nice to see you.
Broad,
you are classy broad, and it is very nice to see everybody. It is the second to last show of 2014, the Schmoes Know Movies Show. I'm Kristian Harloff.
And I'm Mark Ellis, and my God, is it terrifying outside right now.
What do you mean?
There's wind, there's rain, there's hail. I'm just trying to make it sound scary.
What are you watching, Into the Storm or something?
No, I was going off of Kenny's intro. I want people to think that we're actually like making an effort to put this show on for them
There were
live.
a few clouds.
Yeah, and a little bit of fog too.
Yeah,
Scary.
and a wind blew my hair slightly.
Right off, because I remember it used to be long. Alicia Malone, very nice to see you again.
Nice to be
Yeah,
back.
now, where the hell have you been?
Seriously.
Where haven't I been?
What have you been doing with yourself? Because we, as you guys know, Mark and myself, part of AMC Movie News, as well as Alicia Malone, AMC Movie Talk, and we haven't seen you on there. We haven't seen you on here. Where you been?
Yeah, I've been in London and then New York. I was covering The Hobbit and then Unbroken and Annie. All over the show.
Give me a good story. What happened?
Yeah, now I have a question about this. Is it when you're covering these movies, like if it's really bad, you necessarily don't want to say it's awful, right?
Yeah.
So, Annie.
Yes, Annie.
Awful. Yeah.
Awful.
Kristian, the only screening that we have for Annie is this weekend on Sunday at 11 p.m., which means at 11 a.m. Excuse me, which means I'm going to have to miss not one but two football start times.
Well, you know it's always a bad sign when they give you a lot of alcohol before the screening. They had
Before
a
the screening.
huge party pre-Annie with a lot
get
of
you
alcohol
bombed?
to get you drunk.
They had a pre-Annie tailgate.
And they wanted everybody to act like Cameron Diaz in the movie.
I think we should take a note from that, Kristian. I say you and me hit the bar, Buffalo Wild Wings, 9 a.m.
I'm in. And Makuga's in. Makuga was in when he just heard drink.
We knew we could count on you, buddy.
Yeah. So, hey, I guess, is the stream working over there? Riley getting some tweets that the stream isn't working, so just checking it.
Stream, it's a damn storm outside. What do they want from us?
It is. Look, guys, lots of great stuff going on tonight. We're going to be talking about the news, like we always do for the first half an hour.
The news?
The news. We have some news to talk
Please
about.
don't make that a regular thing.
What? The news.
No.
It'll be like Guilty Movie Pleasures opening.
Now they're all going to tweet and they're going to say, Kristian, we love the new way you intro the news. Please don't do that.
all right.
It's going to be another Let It Schmo all over again.
All right, well, let's let this schmo as we talk about the news. We're talking about the news.
Yeah.
We were talking, there's a special segment that is going to be coming. I'm not going to tell anybody yet what it is at 6:30. Something very fun will be going on there.
A special segment.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about some Star Wars stuff that happened today. We'll be talking about that's the crazy Sony stuff going on. The
Crazy.
Golden Globes will happen, but that will happen when we introduce our guest that's coming in, Mark.
Big guest tonight. Comic book girl herself is going to be here live in studio for a full hour from 7 to 8 p.m. if you're listening live on the West Coast. That's exciting stuff.
Right. Lots, and I don't want to bring attention to this again, but JT, check the stream because we're getting tons of tweets about the stream right now.
I got some that say okay.
Okay, so some say okay, some say that's not working.
Just refresh your
Just
browser.
all right. So refresh the stream, and that should
Yeah,
be
how about you guys at home do some work, okay?
Right.
Stop. They're sending JT on a wild goose chase because they know that you like to open with the new intro today.
Right.
You got your new way to say the news, and now they're trying to confuse JT into doing his little dance. What he does all the
JT, can you
time.
do the dance for the two? We got two left. Give me a little. You're doing fine, but let me see the flub. Let me see the JT.
Just a quick.
Yeah. Oh, that was half-assed.
Wait, where's that other hand?
Commit, you son of a bitch.
Gross.
I haven't made a mistake yet.
All right, fine. That's fine. And we are
Yes, he
going
says
to
yes.
talk about the After Hour show because that's coming up very soon.
Yeah. Mhm.
Alicia Malone was not here last week, and Roxy was here to talk a little bit about the After Hour
No,
show.
I watched about 10 minutes from New York and then I just raided the minibar.
That was it. Like you will be doing on the After Hour show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. Well, we talk about that. We'll get into what Alicia's expectations. Because Alicia is going to be one of those ones that the guys are going to have to look out for.
I feel like Alicia is going to class up the
Yeah.
After Hours show
is.
for the first 90 minutes. Then I feel like the last half hour, she's just going to let it all fly.
Alicia is ready for the. Don't forget that Alicia was the one who actually came up with this idea. So let's not think she's going to be Little Miss Innocent.
I'm worried about you because I don't know that you're in the best drinking shape right now. You're
No.
kind of in dad drinking shape where you have a
true.
couple beers, then just every secret you've ever had flies out. Alicia is an Aussie, okay?
And she's a great interviewer.
And a
great interviewer.
And they can hold a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's all going to come out, but that might not be until the microphones are off. So get those flip cams ready.
I got an idea.
It happened pretty easy on Between the Sheets.
Well, I have an idea for you. Why don't you, by the end, let's say by a couple times throughout the show tonight,
okay,
you can ask you have 4 people tonight that you can ask questions to, whatever you want to ask them.
Okay.
You have 4 questions.
Wait, here tonight?
Yeah, for preview for the after hours show.
How dirty can you go?
You can do whatever you want. Okay. It's an after hours show, so 4 questions, you get it. You get to run it like there's nothing. Because last week Roxy was on the hot seat. This week the guys will be on the hot seat. You can ask anything you want. 4 questions, but they'll be kind of spiced throughout the night. Okay, I'll give you the power. All right, but now it's time for Ken Knapsack to have the power. It is time for the news.
Hour. Unlimited hour. I'm Ken Knapsack, and these are your Schmoes Know headlines, brought to you by schmoesknow.com, your source for movie news, reviews, and clues in the lead story of the week. My entire news script was hacked and released to the public, as well as a private email I sent to Josh McCouga with the subject line, "Can you send some of those girls to my house for once?" But seriously, the big news story of all week has been the continued fallout from the DEF CON 5 level hack of Sony's computers. Hundreds upon hundreds of dirty secrets, bigwig email fights, and cool near-miss deals have been exposed to the public, as well as the shocking news that the movie industry is a cold, cutthroat business full of old rich people that don't want to give up their spots. Did you really just learn that, society? All thanks to the group calling themselves Guardians of Peace, who are trying to block Sony from releasing the Seth Rogen, James Franco comedy The Interview. When reached for a comment, a spokesperson for North Korea said, "Who? Us? We don't even have these computers you speak of." Some of the exposed gems include Sony Pictures head Amy Pascal and producer Scott Rudin getting into an email flame war over Angelina Jolie reportedly not being happy with Sony, giving her Cleopatra movie director of choice David Fincher the script for the Steve Jobs biopic. Rudin at one point called Jolie a minimally talented, spoiled brat, JK LOLFML. They also said some racist things. It appears Sony has plans to cross over the 21 Jump Street franchise with the Men in Black franchise, which is kind of like your parents making you invite that one kid from your class that smells like pee to your 10th birthday party. The news comes from a series of emails between Jump Street star Jonah Hill and Amy Pascal, in which she calls the crossover, quote, "clean and rad and powerful." The same words used to describe Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo in 1984. Another email from Columbia Pictures president of production, Hannah Miguela, says of the crossover, "We don't have a script yet, so we'll be greenlighting the movie off of concept and the talent involved." Translation, stop writing screenplays in coffee shops, film majors. Sony wants a 2016 or 2017 release date, and Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones would not be involved from the Men in Black side. I mean, this can't fail. Perhaps the most fun news to come out of the hackening was the news that Sony and Marvel Studios were this close to coming to terms on a deal that would see the two studios work together on a Spider-Man appearance in Cap 3, which begins the all-important Civil War story arc, and then co-build a new Spider-Man trilogy with Marvel producing, but Sony overseeing marketing and distributing. However, it appears the talks broke down, and now Sony will be moving forward on fumbling another set of Spider-Man movie pictures. Additionally, it was revealed that the team behind the uber successful and well-received Lego movie, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, are developing an animated Spider-Man comedy, though no one from Sony has officially confirmed that news because they're all too busy hiding under their desks while wearing helmets made of aluminum foil. The Interview, the controversial movie at the center of this mess, is still set for a Christmas Day release in the United States, but The Hollywood Reporter is alleging that the movie will not be released in Japan, South Korea, or any other Asian territories, though they say the decision was made before the large-scale security breach apparently done in the name of halting the movie's release. One of the reasons is that Japan and North Korea, always in a high state of tension, have recently begun negotiating over the issue of Japanese citizens abducted by North Korea in the 70s and 80s, and this movie, which centers around the hilarious assassination attempt of North Korea's leader, might make things a tad uncomfortable at the next meeting. So, ergo, 3 years from now, remember that World War III was started by the Archduke Ferdinands of our time, Seth Rogen and James Franco. In other non-hack news, the 2015 SAG Award and Golden Globe nominations were announced this week. Leading the list of film nominations were all the movies your dad missed so he could go see Transformers 4 again. On the TV side, The Big Bang Theory received a couple nominations, which is what I think those protests in Berkeley are about. For a full list of the whitewash nominees, go to schmoesknow.com. Last week, Roberto Orci lost his director's chair for the third installment of the rebooted Star Trek franchise, but no official reason has emerged from North Korea. I don't know what's going on. No reason's been heard. I think I'm drinking. But this week, Orsi himself allegedly took to the comments section of the website trekmovie.com to claim that he is still involved in the project and hinted that the plot and script problems, rumored to be more confusing Vulcan time travel, did not factor into this decision. He also vaguely referred to another bigger project on his career horizon. So far, and I'm not joking here, so far I have not found any proof that the user Bob Orsi is actually Roberto Orsi, not some 14-year-old kid giggling as he types these comments while downing a bag of hot Cheetos as his parents sit in the living room trying to remember the last time they had sex while fast-forwarding through an episode of America Needs Talent. But hey, no one else in the movie media seems to be questioning it, so there you go. Must be true. No replacement for Orsi has been announced, so Edgar Wright's name has been floated around. The Hot Tub Time Machine 2 trailer was released this week. Good luck with that. Another trailer released this week that is making waves, or actually dust clouds, is the new full-length trailer for George Miller's Mad Max Fury Road. Though if you weren't watching closely, you might have mistaken it for a travel agency commercial for Burning Man. The high-powered explosive clip is just under 3 minutes of magical mayhem, said the dude who got good grades in high school English. The trailer is built around a lot of the footage first shown at this past summer's San Diego Comic-Con, but that means it's all new footage to you unless you're one of those suckers who slept outside on a sidewalk in the Hall H line. Hello, JTE. Tom Hardy stars as Mad Max, rebooting the role originally made famous by Mel Gibson, and Charlize Theron stars as Furiosa, fierce-looking leader of a band of rebels. The plot revolves around the chaos and anarchy that takes over the world when Facebook shuts down for an hour. It hits theaters May 15th, 2015. And finally, wrapping up a busy week in long tongue-tied news segment, today, Team J.J. Abrams revealed the names of some of the new Star Wars characters from the fancy teaser trailer we all saw a couple weeks ago. For those who don't want to know yet, I won't reveal them, but suffice to say, all the names look and sound like J.J. Abrams dumped a bag of Scrabble pieces onto a table and just started randomly pulling out letters. Don't be confused when your girlfriend cosplays as Jedi Zigzwika Malgalax. The Force Awakens is still over a year away from being released. I'm Ken Knapsack, and those are your Schmoes Know headlines. Schmoes Know.
All right, Ken Knapsack.
All-star performance. And I don't want to give away too much. I know that we're going to be talking about leaking, about scoops, about things aren't supposed to get out yet. Expect big things from Ken Knapsack in 2015.
I agree.
That's all I'm going to tell you.
That's
Expect
good
big
news.
things. Great job, Kenny.
Well, actually, I'm gonna let everybody know, if you don't want to know what the names are for Star Wars, then to turn your computer off at least for the next 5-10 minutes.
Kristian, I can't turn my computer off. I'm here live.
Well, I already told you them.
And I have no idea.
All right, we're gonna tell everybody.
It's not bad. I didn't want to know him, and it's not bad.
Okay.
Right. No, I like them a lot. I really do. I know.
I meant the news. I meant just hearing them. It doesn't spoil or anything like I thought it might.
All right, so here are the names so far. So basically, what happened was that we had J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy had announced it. I guess because there's these cards that are coming out, and on the cards you have the names. So
how can you read on your phone, by the way?
Well, what happened is my phone got smashed to bits because
I get that on Schmo Plus.
you have to. I saved my daughter's life. So, all right. So we had the droid is called BB-8.
Love it.
And then you have Edgar Allan Poe. No, Poe Dameron, who is going to be Oscar Isaac.
Poe Dameron.
Then you have Kylo Ren, who is the Sith Lord with the lightsaber.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Is that two names or is that one name?
Two names. Kylo Ren, and it says Kylo Ren ignites his lightsaber.
That's a ruse.
It could be a ruse. Could be. That's the name there. Then you have Rey, R-E-Y, on her speeder. I think it's going to be Rey Solo.
Daisy, right?
Finn on the run. That's John Boyega. Finn. He looks Irish. So Finn on the run. Maybe Finn Calrissian. Maybe.
No.
Okay.
No.
And that's it. So those are the names. Let's go.
But they didn't give a last name for Finn. See, this is what's interesting to me.
Rey.
So Finn and Rey don't have a last name, but they gave a last name to somebody else because we don't know that last name in the universe already. So you're thinking, and I'm starting to agree with you, is that maybe they didn't give away the last name. either because it's somebody that we already know or because it's going to factor prominently into the plot in a way that we shouldn't know at the outset of the film. So
I think that's what it is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about Star Wars, as you guys know, but that makes sense because JJ, he's really good at keeping things back that he wants and reveal them slowly. His mystery box thing, he's so good at.
Yeah, so that's why those names are out there, and I wanted to ask Riley, because I know Riley's got an opinion on it. I want to ask him in a second. But just to let you guys know out there, if you're watching for the first time live, or even if you are tuning in on YouTube, just to let you guys know that you guys, the fans, this is not run by us. The Schmoeville has created a Schmoeville Facebook page, Schmoeville with an exclamation point, who is having a live chat right now. Go there, and it's also something else I want to bring, because Leanne
the Queen.
She and Thomas Hughes and a few other people run this site, and what they've been telling, we go in there and we talk to them and stuff, and we always have chats. And I always see that sometimes they get some shit, like from other people who don't understand. Like what I think that they've done so well is that they will go through. Let's say me and you were talking about a David Fincher movie, right? So instead of just someone going into this group and saying, hey, what do you guys think about Seven? ? Some random fan, and then it just a generic movie site. They say, hey, I heard Alicia and Kristian talking about it. That made me start thinking about it, and they relate everything to conversations.
Really easy to do.
It's so easy to do. It has nothing to do with has to be something we were talking about. Anything can be related to that, and I see them getting crap for it. So I think it's a smart idea because it keeps it so much more less generic.
There's plenty of other movie discussion boards if people want to go there, but Schmoeville is special because it is about the show.
Or they could say, Mark made an interesting point about that David Fincher movie we were all talking about. It could tonight.
It could.
I could surprise some people. I'm going to shock the world tonight.
So
say some smart things.
So go there, interact with your other Schmoevillians at Schmoeville with an exclamation point. They have about 2,800 members now. Get them to 3,000. But Riley, so what are your overall thoughts on the names?
I like one of them.
And you like? Let me guess.
That's not a very good percentage.
Let me guess. You like Kylo Ren?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
The rest don't.
But what if it was
BB-8?
No, that sounds so far from Star Wars.
Okay. What if,
I want like 5DR8 or something like that.
What if it was Rey Solo? Is it better? What's different between Rey Solo and Luke Skywalker?
Rey is just a strong name that doesn't get used enough.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's because they're hinting.
Right.
They're giving us the first name, which maybe that's why I'm.
It's because you don't know the last names.
Yeah.
You haven't heard. Maybe it's possible the last names are very Star Wars.
Can I say something here too?
Okay.
Is that if we learned anything from Blue Harvest, and I'm not talking about the Family Guy Star Wars, I'm talking about Blue Harvest, which was the supposed name of the film they were making while they were really filming Return of the Jedi, just to put the wool over our eyes.
Yeah.
That really could be the case with at least one of these names too.
I remember I went on the set of Star Trek 2, and they had John Harrison's name, I think, instead of Khan's.
Yeah.
And I was trying to look for clues because I knew he was going to be Khan, but it was like I just wanted to see it written somewhere, and I looked all through wardrobe. I went and I did a little
this could totally be misdirection. We have over a year, like Kenny said, before these names come out. This could totally be literally them pulling tiles from a Scrabble board.
Yeah.
However,
yes, sir.
I feel like JJ did say that the numbering in the cards is important. So I don't know what that means, but I feel like that the names are real.
Right. Oh,
I
real.
absolutely think, and I don't think we're going to get a bait and switch. I think we'll get the last names.
Yeah.
And that it'll be Rey Solo.
Co-host of the Jedi Alliance on the Popcorn Talk Network, Ken Knapsack, you have a point to make?
I do. First of all, to answer the card thing, that could be a red herring, but also one of the cards from Daisy Ridley matches up to Luke Skywalker in the original top
Looks the
set.
same, right?
And it's him on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, did you ask me about the names?
No, what do you think about you don't like news.
I don't.
Right.
But I'm not making a huge deal of it.
Right.
But
do you think that which ones do you have the most problems with?
Poe Dameron.
I think that's the one I have the most problem with.
It just sounds fan fictiony. Again, I'm over criticizing. We're gonna have a year to do it.
What is wrong with everybody?
BB-8,
this is gonna happen with every piece of news.
This feels like second grade when a new kid came in from a different place and everybody's gonna make fun of him because his name isn't John or James.
However,
I don't like New Dawn. I hate sand.
I still don't like New Dawn. However, in 1973, when Luke Starkiller and Darth Vader and all these names were coming up, they sounded stupid then too.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends. That's a great point because we don't know if they're going to fit into it, how it's going to work out. So those are the names of Star Wars.
Criticizing the name of the droid, Riley. How dare you?
We're going to get into this. I want to get into the Sony thing a little later because
so much to talk about.
So much to talk about, and we need a little bit more time to do it because I definitely want to get Ken and Riley's take because Riley's going to be talking a lot about that on Meet the Movie Press tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the Mad Max Fury Road trailer.
Yeah.
Looks so awesome.
Yeah. Now this is to be clear, this is a reboot.
No, it's not a reboot.
It's not a reboot.
Continuation
It's
story.
a continuation from the Mel Gibson character.
Yeah, and this took 25 years to come, this movie. They've been trying to get it up for so long, and then there's been so many delays, and usually that spells trouble for a movie, but the trailer looks incredible because of this mixture of practical effects with special effects. It looks like it really hurts.
Yeah, just the look of this trailer is just fantastic, and I like the arrogance with which this trailer came out because it says, hey, we're here, we're going to tell a new story, get excited,
and
your
Nicholas
Mad Max
Holt,
is back.
I didn't recognize him until it said his name at the end.
And then they showed him again, because when he was laughing in the car maniacally, it's true. The artist formerly known as JTI, put the mic on yourself for a second. What? So you saw the Mad Max trailer today, right, or yesterday, whenever it came out?
Yeah, well, me and Copster saw it at Comic-Con, and we were raving about it.
That's what I wanted to ask you is, was it different or the same one that you saw at Comic-Con?
The one at Comic-Con was almost 5 minutes. It showed the scene where it's like a tornado, it's like a sandstorm.
Yeah.
There was like at least a 2 to 3 minute sequence where you saw the whole sequence.
Wow.
So it was amazing.
So because I remember, thanks JT, those guys were raving about it. It was like the thing that they loved the most.
Yeah, we wanted to hear about Batman v Superman at Comic-Con, and all they wanted to talk about was this damn Mad Max thing, and it's like, it settled down, simpletons, and now I take some of that back because seeing this trailer.
Likes it too.
Right. McCougar.
I was in the car with these monkeys on the way home, and they were like, "That was the best thing." And I watched it at Comic-Con, and I watched it on my phone like 3 times. Like, this is gonna be incredible.
I was so dubious about it, but I loved it.
I can't wait for it, and we talked about it on AMC Movie Talk today too. It to me seems like it's one of my most anticipated next year, and I know you feel the same.
With the talent involved, with your Tom Hardy and your Charlize Theron in front of the camera, and with George Miller behind the camera, this thing is...
Dr. George Miller, thank you very much.
Excuse me, Dr. George Miller. Yeah, I can't wait for this thing, man.
Okay, so another thing
And we haven't heard Tom Hardy speak yet.
No, and I don't think he's going to talk that much. I really don't think he's going to talk a lot, and I don't think he's going to have to. Because,
after all that yapping you did in Lock.
Mel Gibson didn't talk that much in the first Mad Max. Max doesn't need to. That's really not...
He's really mad.
Yeah.
He is, and he's Mad Max. So I'm very excited for Schmoeville. You guys out there, make sure you be part of the conversation. Hashtag Schmoes Know. Same thing, be active all night on the show. Anything you want to talk about, anything that we're talking about, make sure that you hashtag Schmoes Know. We'll read out some of your tweets later. You know what we should talk about here is not the Golden Globes, the interview. Now this movie we've seen it. We can't talk about it all the way yet because the embargo.
I thought it was
yeah. But the fact that they are pulling it from certain Asian markets, I understand that for sure. It's still going to probably get leaked or somewhere someone's going to be able to get a hold of it.
That was the interesting thing. I'm sure we'll talk about it more when we talk about Sony, but it was interesting that film did not get leaked out of all the other films that got leaked. That was kind of interesting. But I was supposed to do a press junket for the film today, and it got postponed.
Really?
So really?
Yeah.
Now the movie's release date is Christmas, right? And so that's when it comes out. And look, as a Western civilization human being, as an American, I like McDonald's and Budweiser and Aerosmith. So for me, this movie has a hysterical premise.
And did you see there's a Korean poster, I don't know if it's actually real or not, but it was like, from the same American pigs who brought you Neighbors, and it's really fun. And in Korean it says, do not believe the American.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the movie can kind of take that tone too, and it's all in the name of comedy. Now look, obviously I don't think that comedy is worth having people, ride or die over if it's somewhere in Asia where people are really sensitive about it, but I think for here, I think that everything that's going on around this movie is a great marketing tool because it comes out on Christmas, families going to be together, they want to have some yucks. This is the movie to do it.
Family friendly fun.
I don't know if you guys watch Vice on HBO. No. It's basically
heavy stuff.
Really heavy stuff. But they were the people that brought Rodman over to North Korea when they did the whole thing because Kim Jong Un.
I thought of Rodman a lot more.
Rodman.
Because Kim Jong Un is a huge basketball fan, and that's why they brought him over there. And Vice went around and they really exposed some crazy thing. If you guys want to see what North Korea is like, watch that Vice episode. I was floored. I watched it 3 times. That country is messed up, and the fact that we are we are doing this kind of scares me just a little bit because they have no Jones about coming after us.
Let's save that for sure because that's a point that Ken made before we went live, and I want you to chime in on that because Ken had a great point that we haven't really touched on much, but that'll be after the break. We're going to talk more about this whole Sony leak and all of that stuff. Lastly, before we go to break here,
I want to talk about the Star Trek thing. I want to talk about Orsi because he was the next guy. He was kind of the next. He was the knighted guy to follow in J.J. Abrams' footsteps. And what's interesting to me, if this was really Orsi and Ken, I know you're making a joke about it. What do we have info about this? Whoever was in this chat room as Bob Orsi, was that the real guy, or do we just not know?
I don't think we know.
I mean, don't you think someone would have reached out to him and asked, and he probably confirmed it?
I was looking for that. I couldn't find any story of that. I actually went to the page, scrolled through 1,000 fan comments.
Schmoesknow.com?
Schmoesknow.com, and then I linked to trekmovie.net TV.
Good boy.
And I saw the comments. I read everything he said. He responded. At one point, someone calls him out. How do I know you're really Robert Orsi? He says, after all we've been through, it's really me. There's no proof other than that.
Yeah, I can't go on that word at all then. So my initial gut feeling will remain that this is something from above. This is a studio decision because I don't care what other project you could be working on. There's very few things in life that are going to be bigger than working on a Star Trek movie.
And I'm really doubtful that Edgar Wright will take on this route.
I don't think, first of all, it's the same. It's
Simon Pegg's in the movie.
Yeah, but he's made a huge point recently after Ant-Man that he's all about doing original films, and original films is where it's at.
And he's going to have, and he thinks he had the same issues that he had with Marvel, he's going to have with the third movie of a popular franchise, and especially something of Star Trek's size. I mean, Star Trek in general was a big movie, and now after these 2 movies have hit so big, he's not going to want to deal with that stuff because then he's not going to be able to do what Edgar Wright does.
Yeah, I want to see him do another original movie.
That's what he needs to do. He's in the same. I mean, not of the as big of a scale as like say Nolan or Tarantino, but he's that type of guy. You want to see
style.
Yeah, when you go to see a Tarantino movie or a Nolan movie, you go to see an Edgar Wright movie. You know, so I think that, not to say that he wouldn't put his.
I would enjoy that spin on it though.
Of course I would.
And I think as you get
same way you would Ant-Man though too, though, right?
Absolutely, but that was also my point with why I was so excited to see him direct a Marvel movie, because now I've seen what Marvel is capable of with all these great Avengers films, and now you want to see a different spin on something, which is why I was so happy.
Well, I was
Guardians
okay with
was this
that
summer
because I didn't know anything about Ant-Man, but I think to direct a third movie in a franchise, I would like to see.
He's not good for either one, because the reason why I don't think for Marvel, and we don't have to get too much into this, is that Evangeline Lilly said it the best when it's just that Marvel had a specific plan, shared universe. His vision would have been an Edgar Wright movie, like we were talking about. It wouldn't have been part of that Marvel Cinematic Universe. It would have been a standalone. The same way Shane Black's Iron Man 3 is a Shane Black movie. It's not an Iron Man movie.
But here's the high wire act you got to negotiate now. If you're the Star Trek studio, right? Is that now you need to find a director that's capable enough to pull off your vision, but isn't so capable that he's going to have his own vision and that you can't control. So you need a puppet. You just need a really good-looking puppet. Right? I mean, you're not going to get Neil Blomkamp to come in here and be like, oh, sure, I'll do your movie. Maybe he will.
You never know. You never know. All right, we got...
I really hope we get Neil Blomkamp.
Wait, Riley, you got some scoops on this stuff? Riley, what do you got?
Just thinking, I really think Edgar Wright is in the mix, and not just a joke, because he directed a couple shots in Star Trek.
No, I think he is too, but I just don't...
in the mix, I just don't think it was...
Simon Pegg, I'm telling you, man, that guy's got big pull in these geek universe side we're talking about.
I'm going to read a couple tweets out from Schmoeville, then we're going to go to break here, come back in just a little bit, talk about this big Sony thing. At Javi201330, I never understand how people put so many numbers in there.
Hobby.
Hobby?
Yeah.
What did I say, Javi?
Hobby.
What did I say, Javi?
Yeah, it's not a Star Wars movie.
I don't know. There's so many numbers in there. I don't know what's on.
Javi Gonzalez.
Yeah. About the interview, I'm excited. I don't get why they're getting so angry. Team America was way more offensive.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure, but I'm sure they were pretty pissed off too.
Team America is also puppets, and it's very different when it's live action.
Also, the thing is, Kim Jong-il, the father, was a huge movie fan, so he actually really enjoyed Team America World Police because he liked himself being portrayed in a movie.
Fuck you, Hans Briggs.
But Kim Jong-un doesn't find it so funny.
It is different when it's you're seeing the live representation of the person and not just like a toy.
Just puppet.
Yeah. Let's get another one here too. At Micah Harshaw says that /film.com is reporting that Star Trek alum Jonathan Frakes is trying to direct Star Trek.
Great, one of the all-time great beards you will ever see on camera is Jonathan Frakes.
Zero chance.
Zero chance, you think? Yeah, okay. And then here's someone from @JMizzy1989. The Mad Max trailer looks brilliant. Tom Hardy as Max, then Elton John. This guy is becoming one of the best. Absolutely.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
He's incredible.
See, I wanted the real Elton John to play Mad Max, and I think that would have been the movie to go see next year.
Okay, that's it. When we get back, we're going to really dive into this Sony thing. We got a little special segment that we're going to do up top as well. And then at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, Comic Book Movie Girl will be live in studio. So keep tweeting in, guys, and make sure you go to that live chat, Schmoeville with an exclamation point. Schmoes Know.
Schmoeville.
That's right, Schmoes Know Movies.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here, and I want to share my newest book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, with you. Basically, every woman always stops me and asks me how I lost 40 pounds, so I decided to put it all in one book. Everything I did to lose 40 pounds step by step, and how you can too, is in here. I did it with no time, no money, and no willpower, and now I'm going to show you how to do it too. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, wherever books are sold, and it's out June 3rd. So I hope you guys love it. I hope it helps you in your weight loss journey, and please, please tweet me and update me on your progress at Maria Menounos. Thanks.
What's up, Schmoeville? It's me, the Wild Man, Josh McCouga. You guys know me from the podcast and Wild Man TV, but did you also know I have my own talk show? It's called Between the Sheets. I bring on comedians, TV personalities, adult stars, and we talk about everything, but mostly sex. So go to my YouTube channel, The Casual Mafia, subscribe, and see every episode of Between the Sheets. We done? Yeah, I'll be right there, sweet.
Hi guys, I'm Sarah Stratton. I'm here with my wonderful co-host JT and Finstock. We want you all to tune in for our show. We show on Mondays box office breakdown for the Popcorn Talk Network. We talk about all the weekend's numbers, all the big movies. What else we got, JT?
We break it down. Not only the numbers here, but we do domestic. We have a great game with foreign titles that Finstock runs, which is hilarious. This is your one-stop spot for entertainment and news.
I got this Jennifer Lawrence story if you guys want to hear it really quickly.
Of course.
Yeah, none of your stories are quick. We have 20 seconds, guys. I need you all to subscribe on YouTube, download us on iTunes, and, of course, watch us on Mondays.
Poof.
Stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, screenwriting, radio, acting, professional wrestling, love, life. Ken Napzok, the producer of the Schmoes Know podcast, has failed at all of these things, but his friends haven't. So join Ken as he makes his wonderful friends your friends, including some of your favorite Schmoes Know characters as they discuss life, the universe, and everything on The Napzok Files. Available on Stitcher and iTunes. Hashtag The Napzok Files to join the conversation.
Hello, Profilers! Welcome to Profiles with Malone and Mance. Every week on Profiles, we celebrate and spotlight the greatest filmmakers, actors, and actresses of all time.
We count down our 5 favorite films. We have little trivia, quizzes, special guests calling in. Basically, if you are a film geek like us, this is the show you need to be listening to or watching.
This is where we get to geek out about movies and have fun and learn something in the process. Make sure you join us every single week with fun trivia. We have special guests calling in. We even sit down with special guests on camera. So make sure you go to iTunes and subscribe to Profiles with Malone and Mance. Rate and review us. That is very important.
And you can see these beautiful faces of ours at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network.
Go Profiles with Malone and Mance. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Schmo Park. It is the Schmoes Know Movies Show. Kristian Arloff here, Mark Ellis
Hold
over
on
there.
to your butts.
That's right. Now, I want to talk to Mark in just a little bit about he's going to be doing some stand-up pretty quick. Get to that in just a second. If you guys do not know, the After Hours show is going to be a show where we all drink a lot. And in that drinking, we are going to be, it's going to be like our form of a Christmas party.
In between gulps, there will be talking, and some of it's going to get a little dirty, a little scandalous, a little mischievous, and it's going to be live, and it's a one-time event. This will not be recorded.
So let me tell you some of the people that are going to be there. And yeah, you can only watch it live. Tons of people are tweeting and asking me, can you please put it up? Nope. Sorry, if you live somewhere else to where the time is, I apologize, but it's the only way that we decided we were going to do this. It's going to be live. There's going to be tons of crazy questions. So far, who we have?
Richard Pryor.
No.
Liz Taylor.
No. Mark Ellis on the phone. Josh McCouga. Myself. Ken Knapsack. Upham. Cobster, JTE, Alicia Malone, Maud Garrett, Gray Drake, Sarah Stretton, Roxy Stryer,
Crystal Lee
Kennedy,
Mary
possibly Mary Jetikin. We're on our schedule.
Get a babysitter.
Now, I know everyone was Bonnie Somerville is not able to make it.
Where is she?
She's going at it. She's going to be back to New York.
Me and her both out of town.
Yeah, I also found out that Katie Sackhoff not able to make it.
Me and her both out of town.
Both out of town. Yeah. So those are our two cancellations right now. So we and then Mark Riley will also not be here. So just to let everybody know that. But what we said, if you listen to the first half of the show, last week we gave Roxy a few questions.
We gave her a pretty hard time. She handled it like a champ. She took it on the chin like a true Boston girl should. So now you think, which I don't agree with, you think it's a good idea to turn the tables and have Alicia.
I think that it's a good idea to be able to show Schmoeville that it's equal playing field.
I don't know if we can take a punch.
Well, let's go see. Alicia is going to get 4 questions for the night.
Right.
She gets her first one, and she gets to direct it to anybody. She gets 4 people throughout the night she can ask.
All right, fire your bar at anybody.
I'm going to start fairly tame.
All right, who's it going? Mark.
Start with you.
All right, Mark.
Okay, well, firstly, a question. Tinder, which way is yes and which way is no?
I think you swipe right to if you like the lady, you want to take her out for a nice cocktail.
She's going to start nice with you, and then she get dirty with everyone else. Right?
She's lured me into her cave.
Yeah.
So if you have to swipe right on either Roxy Stryer or Sarah Stretton,
ooh,
who do you choose?
Man, this is going to be an easy question to answer. I'm definitely going to swipe right on Roxy because Sarah Stretton doesn't know how to use social media whatsoever.
She would be on there. In this world, she's on
In this world, if I'm just looking at the pictures, I'm still probably going to take
Who's
Roxy.
Drunk Ellis? Drunk Ellis taken.
Drunk Ellis is taken. He hopes it's a chick. I mean, look, Drunk Ellis isn't that picky. The thing about this After Hours show is going to get nuts. This is me sober. Is it when I see a picture of Roxy, I can tell that she's like a fun rocker kind of chick. We're going to have great conversations about Bad Company and Mott the Hoople all night long. With Sarah Stretton, it's like I don't know that much about having high tea with the Queen. Like I don't know if I can relate to her, so I'm swiping right on Roxy first.
All right, so that's Alicia's first question. First easy.
Don't worry,
you got lucky. They're going to get dirty as they get on and on and on. Now, before we get to some of this Sony stuff that we're going to talk about here, I want to ask you. So you're doing some comedy. What's going on? Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going out of town. That's why I'm going to be missing the After Hours show, at least live in person. I will be there via Skype from my hotel room or from the Funny Bone in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm going to be there December 18th through the 21st. So if you guys live in the Nebraska area, in the Omaha area, come on out and come watch me do some live stand-up.
I wanted to ask you, though, too, because we don't really talk about this that much on the air. Since the show, because the show, in the beginning of the year, I think we had like 50,000 subscribers. We're about 120 now. This show has really kind of taken off a lot more.
We've more than doubled in size.
And even when we moved over here, so have you found a lot more Schmoevillians coming to the show?
Every damn time I'm on the road. Really? And it's almost every show now. And it's them in force. Like, what I love is when I'm on stage and I can look out in the crowd and there's like a couple ripped apparel shirts out there.
Right.
For some reason, it's always the Ninja Turtle shirts. Right. The kids that get the Ninja Turtle shirts are just there in the front row. And they love
your people.
Yeah, and after the show, it's like I like to hang out with them and, sign autographs if they want it.
That's nice.
And sell merch and then go to the local bar, Watering Hole, and have a beer. Unless it's that Saturday, which of course I'll be getting right back to the green room.
Good.
Right. So
for the After Hours show. Have you ever been to Nebraska when you were on the road?
I did the road with 2003, I think, with Tommy Savitt in Nebraska.
Were you at the Omaha Funny Bone?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, man.
I'm going to be walking the same halls Kristian Harloff did.
Yeah, so
probably making out with some of the same waitresses.
I've never been to Nebraska.
No?
I've seen Nebraska.
Can you do a Nebraskan accent?
Yeah,
No.
and I have on
What
good
does that
authority
sound like?
from our buddy Nick Hoff, who's from there. He said that that's where Kool-Aid was invented. So
Interesting. Well, go make sure you guys, if
I've
you
never
haven't
had
checked
Kool-Aid.
it out. Really?
No, it's not a thing in Australia.
Well, we'll have that at the after hour show.
Okay.
You're gonna be snorting it.
If you guys don't know, both I'm putting up my stand-up on the Schmoes channel as well, but your stand-up can be found on Schmo Plus.
Yeah, you can see some of that stuff on Schmo Plus, and then for tickets to this weekend or the next weekend show, just go to funnybone.com. The Omaha link. Again, use your intuition. I'm going to be in Nebraska. There's not that many clubs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's make sure you go out and see Mark Ellis, and you can always check out his dates at markellis.com.
Oh, no, we're just going to, I'm going to talk to Riley. I'm just going to consolidate websites, and we're just going to do, you can go to schmoesknow.com and get all my 2015 tour dates.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, then let's move on.
I'm happy to have
the
them leak.
IRS is breathing down my neck like it's some kind of personal vendetta against Bobby Finstock.
I know that music.
I've had a break from this.
Bobby Finstock.
You're not going to have a break much longer. There
Bobby
he is.
Finstock. No.
Get his shirt.
Bobby Finstock. No.
Oh my God.
Buckbo. Oh my goodness.
One of the best shirts.
That's a good one.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Finstock. How are you?
All right.
Somebody cancel Scott Rudin and Amy Pascal's trip to the White House.
That's a good one. Someone asked to cancel that one. You're right.
Very topical.
Finstock, how are you doing, my friend?
Somewhere Mel Gibson is bench pressing 700 pounds laughing.
That's true. That's true. Finstock, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually really good.
You're really good? Why?
Yeah,
what do you got going on?
I'm on another planet of good.
You're on another planet?
Yeah,
Why is that? Why is that?
Just because things are going really well.
They're going pretty well.
Good results at the clinic is what it sounds like.
Yeah, now enough so that you're going to be here tonight to talk about...
Today's the after show, right?
No. You won't be here in the after show, thank God. Yeah, we're going...
Thank God.
Listen.
Did you cut your hair?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
All right.
It does look nice.
Okay, so we're going to talk... You're doing a new segment tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about something else beforehand, now.
But you don't want to talk about the new segment?
What about this... I'm here to collect the bet. What about the date? What's going on here?
What bet?
You know, me and Red Fury.
You haven't asked me out on a date.
What are you talking about?
You haven't made any plans.
Yeah, but you've been gallivanting around the country.
Well, I'm back now.
I know, but I'll be gone on the 19th, so we're going to have to do it over the thing, because I'll be gallivanting around the country.
Well, when is this date going to happen, then? Is this date going to happen?
I'd like it to happen, like, in and around, like, January 21st.
January 21st?
Exactly, January 21st.
Why January 20th? No, I know
I'm
you
actually
wouldn't...
going to be away. I'm going to be in Sundance.
Oh, okay, so not
Film
January
festival.
21st.
But isn't that too close to Valentine's Day? Like, you don't want to get into anything that's too long term.
Let's do it February 14th. We'll see what's up.
Well,
I don't think I have any plans, so sure.
A Valentine's Day date between Finstock and Alicia? Be careful on that. Are you sure you want to do that? You want to commit to that?
I have no plans. And I doubt I will have.
Do you want to commit to that?
Can we do it on the 13th?
No.
The 13th, I'm good.
All right. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Let's.
The 13th to 12 o'clock into the 14th.
Well, the other part of this bet is that you're supposed to have something for her to wear.
Oh, yeah.
I got something. Well, I was at Burt Reynolds' auction.
Yeah.
And I bet on the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, but Willem Dafoe outbid me.
Where were you?
Oh, damn it.
Where were you really?
I drove past Dom DeLuise's old house.
All right, fine.
That's still technically roundabout way.
Roundabout.
Yeah,
okay, so this date is. Do you really? To be fair, because we've talked about it with Tiffany. You really courted her for a long time as to where she
was the love of my life.
Yeah, I know, and you're heartbroken.
Was totally broken.
I totally understand, but you have not really got to know Alicia at all.
No.
I know what she likes.
I feel like I'm second choice.
She likes Kubrick. She likes Paul Thomas Anderson. She likes butter on a biscuit. You know, and everybody.
Is that close?
What else is she supposed to like?
I mean, he's pretty much got you pegged.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. He's right on the money.
All right, so we'll make that happen in January. So look forward to that. Finstock and Copster will be.
Well, I got this dress. Actually,
Copster wearing the dress?
No, she's gonna be wearing it. It's spandex. If you're cool with that.
Oh, no.
No.
What size are you? 4?
No.
Come on, tell me what size.
Save it for the after hours.
Save it the after. Okay. So all right.
Well, I want to know what kind of dress I'm gonna get.
We'll talk about it.
Dress? It's gonna be 2 sizes too small anyway. So whatever.
We got to talk about Sony stuff. So I need to tell us about Ken. Where's Ken Knapsack? Ken. Where's Ken? Ken, you want to sit at the table, please? Sure. All right, because Ken's going to actually play with us. We're going to play a new segment that you're going to do. Can you tell the fans what the segment is?
Yeah, it's called True or False.
True or false say.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what do we have to do?
So basically,
there's 4 of us playing.
I'm going to tell, it's a variation of like my storytelling ability and stuff like that.
Okay.
Encapsulated into like one sentence.
Okay, so we have to say
So it's basically just shorter versions of the BS that you spew when you do the story.
And there's 10.
Correct.
There's 10 of them. Yes.
Yes, there's 10, maybe more if you want.
Well, let's see. Let's play right now.
Set the bar at 10 and see what happens.
Let's play right now. Let's see how we do.
Okay.
Now we'll go around. So basically, what we'll do is this table. We'll keep score here. True or false. Okay. So JT, when you're ready, start us up, and we'll get. And as soon as the music starts, Finstock, please start.
Yes. Jack Nicholson turned down the role of Willie, Billy Bob Thornton's character in Bad Santa?
All right, let me... Ken, why don't you start with you?
Well, I know that was originally going to be kind of a Coen Brothers movie starring Bill Murray, so I'm going to say that's false.
I think that's a little bit too easy of a sell for me, so I'm going to go false.
The smirk on his face was selling it to be false. I say it's true.
I'm going to go true as well.
Finstock?
Just
Is that it? These guys didn't
different.
No. It's just... It's the
50% of you are right, and 50%
Come on.
are wrong. It is true.
All right,
True.
so Alicia and I are on the board. So
I'd like
that
to
is...
see your work.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it because he doesn't like working with midgets, apparently.
Okay.
True.
All right. Okay, next one.
It sounds like I didn't like working with him.
JT, turn the music up just a little bit.
Jackie Chan started his career in porn. The movie was called Throbbing Hood, Prince of Thieves.
All right, we'll start with me, and we'll keep going like that. And I'm going to say that is false.
I'm going to also say that is false.
I'm going to say it's false.
That's true.
It's true.
What?
Wow.
Jackie Chan started his career in porn.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Throbbing Hood.
All right.
Wow.
And that's the name of the movie?
No.
Well, no, that's not true.
It's 50% true.
Did he do all his own
you
stuff?
can't do that.
I can't believe he found a way to bullshit one question twice.
That was just a joke.
But that was false.
Yeah.
The whole thing's false. So Ken does not get the
he
point.
is in porn, though.
Yeah, but I would have guessed true for that. I really would have guessed. I honestly would have guessed true.
The movie was called The Poon Identity.
So it was not false. It was not. Ken, you understand we have to take a point away from it.
I think Ken should keep the point.
I knew that he started in porn.
Yeah, but he had a title.
Yeah.
All right,
Point five.
Finstock, this is what you suck at with this
no,
type
I
of
got
stuff.
it. All right, I won't do that again.
Stuff. Right, don't do that again.
Yeah, give Ken a point.
He always does this. He makes... Well, that part are true.
Nicolas Cage bought a giant octopus because Marlon Brando said it would help his method acting, the movement of the octopus.
Unfortunately, I'm going to say that's true.
They're both crazy. I'm going to say false.
I'm going to say it's true.
I'm going to say false.
It's false.
All right.
All right, needed that point.
He did buy an octopus, but Marlon Brando didn't tell him to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Burt Reynolds has a clause in his contract that he can punch any director in the face without getting fired.
I want that to be true, so I'm going to say true.
I'm going to say false.
It's totally false.
That's what David O. Russell has in his contract for crew members. I'm going to say it's false.
That, Alicia, is true.
Hey!
Check it out.
Wow.
Yep, it's totally true.
This is another reason why Burt Reynolds is indeed the man.
He's amazing.
Fact check this.
Yeah,
Are you researching this on Wikipedia?
I want to say...
No, I just know people know these questions.
Wait, but can you
Is that
prove all these?
actually-
Yeah, I can prove every one of these things.
All right, fine.
Tell Schmoeville to do it.
All right.
Walt Disney is the second largest purchaser of explosives in the United States.
Well,
Alicia goes. Okay.
No,
I win.
Okay.
I mean, it depends if you're one of the type of person that believes that the Fourth Reich is actually amassing underneath Disneyland and the Walt's frozen. I'm going to say that it's true.
I'm going to say that's totally true.
I'll say it's true.
I'm going to say it's false.
Can I win?
It's true, but number
It's
one
true.
is Dan Blazarian.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because they make so many movies where you got to blow stuff up.
So
Yeah.
what did I say? I said
Oh, no, it's movies, and they're always doing fireworks
what-
over there.
did everybody
every single
have-
day.
Did everybody have true?
Fireworks, of course.
Alicia
I didn't get
Oh,
it.
yeah, okay. So everybody else.
But
did.
I'm still
Okay,
on
you're
top.
still
All
on
right,
top.
man, we still got a
It's not
1 point
after hours,
game.
yeah. All right.
When do we come back from commercial break?
Christopher Walken used to be a circus lion tamer.
I'd love that to be true, but that's false.
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 I'm going to say false, but he did work for a circus.
No, it's dancer.
That is true.
Wow, nobody got the
He
point.
worked as a
It's
lion
true?
tamer at 15, yeah.
Wow, no one gets the point.
He did his
Wow.
little shtick. That's how he
Alright.
learned his acting.
All right, next.
That's where
The
he learned his
first
acting.
non-human to win an Oscar
Oh, yes.
is Steven Seagal. No, I'm kidding. The first non-human to win an Oscar is Donald Duck.
I'm going to say that's false.
False.
False, it was Mickey Mouse.
I'm going to say it is... I need a point, so I'm going to say it's true.
It's actually false.
Ah!
It was Mickey Mouse. Right.
All right.
Tough question.
Christian Bale came up with the iconic Batman voice after he overheard famed New York pizza maker Fat Sal Patterson arguing a monotone squall while slapping up a known prostitute in a woman's bathroom.
Jesus Christ.
It's very
Now,
detailed.
wait, I want to, before anybody answers, every part of that story has to be true for it to be true.
Every part
Every
of it.
part.
So do you want to revise your story?
Revise it a little bit. Revise it a little bit.
Smart of me and order a pepperoni.
Revise it. Revise it.
Christian Bale came up with the iconic Batman voice on his own.
That is
I should
true.
get a point for weeding that crap out.
True. True.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, true.
True.
Everybody gets a point. Yeah.
Oh, God.
All those useless details.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Fat Sal Patterson's a real guy.
I'm sure he slaps prostitutes
All right,
Definitely
let's go. We got two more, and then we're done.
Jeremy Renner was a successful makeup artist before he went into acting.
False.
That's false.
I'm going to say false.
It's absolutely true.
It's 100% true.
What?
Wow. All right.
Yep.
So this is the last question. This is the last question, and it is a tie between Ken
Oh.
and Alicia. So we can play along, but we're out of it.
No, you can. If they miss it, you get it. You
then I'd
should.
be
You should
tied.
answer
That's
whatever
true.
Alicia
Yeah,
and Ken
okay.
don't.
Then I have a tiebreaker question if you guys want.
All right. So let's
So
start
we
here.
have
All right. So go ahead. So Alicia will go first, and then I'll go around the horn.
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey has a fear of revolving doors.
I'm going to say true.
Ken?
I'm going to say true.
I'll also say. Oh, I guess I have to say false.
Yeah, I'm going to say false too.
It is true. He got his tie caught in the revolving door while filming Dallas Buyers Club, and his body almost fell apart because he was so skinny.
All right. Well, we're done.
Wow,
You and I are done.
yeah.
So now it's just between Ken and Alicia.
They're tied?
Yeah,
We're
they're
They're tied, and you've won tiebreaker question, right? So I'm going to do something real quick.
Yeah,
Alicia,
yeah,
I have a number
absolutely.
behind my back. 1 or 2. What is it?
2.
It is a 2. So Alicia gets to answer first.
Okay. Sounds good. You
Let's go.
ready for the question?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. The Japanese title for Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is called Stop or My Mom is a Complete Imbecile.
True.
It's true.
You both lose.
I got one more. I got one more.
I like that
I got one more.
Stop. My mom is a complete.
Dude, have you heard of his foreign name?
Well, he's Japanese.
Foreign movies are crazy.
Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito's relatives owned a hair salon together in the 50s.
Oh, I love that question. I want that to be true.
I'm going to say false just to mix things up
Mix
a
it
bit.
up.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's absolutely true.
Who is the winner? Ken Knapsack.
It's absolutely true. It was in Manasquan, New Jersey. And I got wiped. Yeah, Manasquan.
All right, Ken, because you won, I'm going to let you do something.
Yeah, what's
Please
that?
escort Finstock out with handcuffs.
Hey, little Bobby wanted me to say something. He was on. He's over in.
Where is he? All right, let's have him.
You know where he's at?
Little
Canada.
Bob.
Canada.
So he's calling in?
Yeah, he's
All
at Ryan Reynolds'
Oh, where
house.
is he? Let's hear him. Little Bobby's here.
Is he there? Is he there, JT? I'm not sure if he
No?
is.
Okay, no Little Bobby. Okay.
Well, he likes his women like Reese Witherspoon, drunk.
Okay. All right. We'll see you later. All right.
gotta
Ken,
go?
please escort him out of the.
Oh, I'm coming up with this idea. It's a bionic bra. It's when as a
all
girl
right, skip
moves.
it. Get out of here. You can
a
always
great segment,
you can check
though.
Finstock out on Box Office Breakdown every Monday on Popcorn Talk Network.
With Sarah Stratton, who I swiped left on, and the own
Now she's gonna hate you.
legend, Every Man's Dream, Jete. Now, that's a great new game.
Yes.
And that should be brought back every so often
Yeah.
because that's a lot of fun, and I think that's something I can be good at.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how much time we have to really talk about the Sony thing. I think we maybe even bring that up with Comic Book Girl 19.
I would like to have her take on it. Yeah, I mean, we can kind of tease it a little bit if you want to, because basically the gist of this thing is that there are all these leaks just from Sony. No other studio this happened to, and basically every email that had
So embarrassing.
that they were sending
It's
back and
crazy.
forth between these higher ups making these big time movies came out for the public
Yeah.
consumption, which I hate that happened. I think all that stuff's private. It should not be out there in the public. I even get squirmy talking about it.
Yeah.
But some of it is very interesting for me, not from the point that it's this guy's acting like a douche or this chick's acting like a diva. For me, it's more interesting to see how the creative process goes on behind closed doors. How what they're
messy.
kicking around with Spider-Man, what they're kicking around with Cleopatra and Men in Black and 22 Jump Street, all
Plus
these
how
ideas.
like personal it gets, because I would just imagine them having proper meetings and writing proper emails to each other, and they're just like, rah.
Listen, I worked in the studio for a bit, and you saw stuff like that happen all the time.
Yeah.
Egos.
all the time.
You
but
ever get yelled at Did you, Kristian Harloff, ever just get
I got something thrown at me one time, but I yelled back. That's why I wasn't cut out for it.
What was thrown at you?
It was like a pen cup, but something that you hold pens in.
A mug, a coffee mug.
Yeah, but it was thrown it was thrown in my direction, like not to hit me. But I like a lot of the assistants. I guess I was watching Swim with Sharks or whatever, and thought that this. Oh, okay, boss. I kind of started screaming back at him. I got called in the office for it, but whatever.
Well, I've got friends who worked at Miramax, and that sounded tough.
Right. But what we're going to talk about on Meet the Movie Press tomorrow with Mark Riley and Jeff Snyder from The Wrap is this very subject. So what I want to hear before we go to break here is Riley's kind of take on everything that's been going down with Spider-Man and the 22 Jump Street thing and all the stuff that was leaked and how it went down. I'm really curious on his insight, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com. And before we go to break, we're going to have Alicia ask one more question.
Yes. Or we can just have Alicia throw a coffee mug at Riley's head. I think that'd be fun for everybody.
All right, let's talk to Riley real quick. Riley, give me some thoughts here on what was going down.
Oh, man, it's just bananas out there. There are so many thoughts. We're going to probably do a whole show on this because you got Spider-Man almost going to Marvel, which is a very...
Why are you getting so close?
We got 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. I can feel him breathing. The Spider-Man going to Marvel, reading those emails and those leaks, it was very interesting to see how close it got. So that's interesting to talk about. Rudin is notorious. He's based on swimming with
Les Grossman from
Les Grossman.
Thunder,
So I wasn't surprised by him and Amy Pascal, but then reading about Men in Black meets 21 Jump Street, it's just nuts. My thoughts are this is pulling back the curtain. Yeah. I think every studio out there has this dirty laundry.
And that was my point too, is that everybody has these email exchanges, especially in business. Like, it doesn't matter if you work in a movie studio or you work at, Dunder Mifflin. It doesn't matter. Everybody has these kind of email chains, and it sucks that these got leaked because when you think something's private, you're going to act differently.
But I think you always have to be careful what you write because you never know where it's going to end up.
That's the new world we live in too. Is like anytime you're in public, and somebody's going to have a cell phone camera.
Like it could get posted on the internet.
And it's funny, the overall take that we got from it, and we talked about this with me
on AMC Movie Talk,
Camping as Schnepp, and for me is that it was the way Rudin maybe worded stuff was not the right way to do it. One was bullyish, but if you read those particular emails that were released, I saw his points.
Yeah.
In regards to what.
No, definitely. It was just the way he was saying it.
That I agree with.
He seemed like a guy who didn't like having his studio being strong armed by saying it doesn't matter who it is. If it's somebody who's super famous like Angelina Jolie, he's like, no, look, this is we're in the power position here. She wants to go direct Unbroken, then she can do that, but she's not going to get her director.
A guy just clutching for dear life, like he's trying to put it together.
I got a quick question for Riley. Is that how close do you think? I know it's probably just emails, but how close do you think we actually got to seeing Spider-Man make an appearance in a Marvel movie?
I don't think we got close at all. I think Sony is holding on to it for dear life because
they're desperate.
They're desperate. It's a tentpole for them. It's the only maybe not the only comic book, but the biggest, arguably the biggest Marvel character. And they have it, so I don't think they're letting it go. I think a lot has to happen before that happens. And I think Sinister Six, if it bombs, or Spider-Man 3,
if Sinister Six bombs, it's over.
I agree with that.
Now, what do you think? What do you think about Amy Pascal with all this stuff? I know that it's not her fault that these things got leaked, but what that exposed was that Sony, we already knew it was a mess, but this confirmed it.
Yeah.
What does that do for her as far as job wise? Is she think are we going to see her? Is she going to lose her job? What do you think's going to happen?
Do they need a scapegoat?
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, McCooks?
Well, I think it's sort of like when like Bill Belichick got caught with Spygate or like these things. It's like this is a major misstep. Like you opened up a window into like we all thought she might be messing up, and now we're like, oh, she is. Right. It's crazy. And so now the up and ups have to pull a meeting of the minds and say, is this the person we want leading our team, or is this
because there's egg all over their face,
all over the place? You got to shake it up.
That's a good point. Okay, so when we get back, we'll talk to Comic Book Girl 19 about this as well. But before we go to break, question number 2, Alicia, look out. See, she's not even drinking yet. She's so excited.
Very excited about
all right, Alicia.
You know how weird I get.
Yeah, here we go.
Kristian.
Okay.
You have to kiss either JT or Cobster.
I love this. He's actually going to do it. He's actually going to do it.
It's in guys. eyes?
Yes.
If it was gun to my head.
3 seconds. Yes.
Gun to my head. I have to do it.
Just you have to choose one of them to kiss.
Sorry, JT. I go with cops. If I had to, two people. And he's got my name, so it works out.
What is it about cops that turns you on so much?
He's an attractive-looking guy. You ever seen him without the facial hair? All right, let's get. When we get back there, Comic Book Girl 19 is live in studio. Going to talk to her about the Sony stuff. Talk to her about her channel, how she got started, and we'll be playing Schmoes Choice tonight, guys. Schmoes Know Movies.
DC Universe! We are DC Movie News. I'm Adam Gertler.
I'm Roxy Stryer.
I'm Johnny LaQuasto. We are your weekly source for all news and rumors related to Warner Brothers' upcoming slate of DC movies. There's a lot of them coming.
Yes, and we're playing with the toys on the table right now, paying attention to Adam, of course.
That's an Adam West bobblehead. What other show can offer you that? This is true. There's a lot of movies coming from DC and Warner Brothers over the next few years. We have to wait till 2016 till they get here, but we're going to talk about them week after week. Rumors upon rumors upon rumors.
And make sure you find us on iTunes and YouTube at Popcorn Talk.
And we also embrace awkward silence.
You found the Jedi Alliance on the Popcorn Talk Network, the celebration of the greatest saga ever told.
Where can you find us? Glad you asked. You can subscribe to us on the YouTube page, just search Popcorn Talk, and we're also on iTunes, just search Jedi Alliance.
And if you're on iTunes, subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us on Twitter at Jedi Alliance SK and the Popcorn Talk. Don't forget we also have Instagram.
And Facebook, so give us a like and a follow, and like some more, and then press like.
Please continue to listen to the Jedi Alliance because many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Poor Bothans.
Hello, we're the Marvel Movie News Team. My name is Matt Key.
I'm Meredith Placco.
And I'm Matt Cook.
You can join us here every Thursday night where we discuss and dissect all the Marvel movie news from the week. The name pretty much says it all.
We also talk television, everything from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Sony, Fox. If it's going on in the comic world and the movie world in Marvel, we have it here.
So tune in and nerd out. It'll be fun.
It'll be a great time. You can catch us on youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network or find us on iTunes and subscribe to the podcast.
Okay, guys, so joining us back in Schmoeville, Maria Menounos has entered Schmoeville. She's here, and can we get her some cans, get her on the mic?
Cheers, everyone. Happy
cheers.
100.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll be the Susie Homemaker and give you your own coaster.
One of the things we wanted to do, we're going to give away a Rip shirt to one of the fans.
Okay.
Kind of like what we did last time. They'll call in. Now, there's going to be 5 people in this mix. It'll be myself, Mark Ellis, Josh McCouga, and where's it? Mark Riley, I think that's actually, and Ken Knapsack. Okay, those 5 people.
Okay.
So what we will ask is we're going to ask you what celebrity we get that we look like the most. Okay. Now, and then if you have interviewed that person.
Okay.
So the fan will have to call up and say, okay, I think Maria's going to get who Mark looks like, and I think that she has interviewed this person. So they go, okay, he looks like. You say, I think it looks like what?
I can't make eye contact with Maria right now because she's good at this. So she's already.
Well, that's the point.
The wheels are already turning in her head, and she's like, I know exactly who this
she's
idiot
playing.
looks
She likes to. Again, last time she was on, she likes to play these games. She's gonna figure it out. So here's how it's gonna work. Schmoeville will call up. They will. You will pick who Maria has to guess. So if you say, okay, I want Maria to guess who she thinks Ken looks like. Okay, if she gets it right. Then she has to say whether or not she's interviewed that person as well. You say whether or not yes or no if she has interviewed them. Does that make sense to everybody? You understand how it works? Who do you want her to guess?
I got you, Chris.
All right, so me. Now do you think she will get? Do you think she interviewed? Do you think that she has interviewed this person?
Duh.
All right, so Maria, so celebrity that I get most often?
Dane Cook.
Yes, and have you interviewed the person?
Hell yeah.
Ogie,
This kid can
all
ball.
right, so who do you want her to pick next?
Mark Ellis. Here we go.
Has she interviewed the person?
Absolutely.
I get Sue Bird.
Okay, I have one.
Who do you got? Who you got?
Topher Grace.
Oh, all right, you got it.
And guess what? I've interviewed him. Oh,
so Patrick Hogue wins the T-shirt. Apparel.
You know, this is true stuff. I ran into Topher Grace at Chipotle one time. We were right in line together, and I was like, dude, I got to take a picture with me. I do this show. And he's like, I'm sorry.
No!
Schmoes Know Movies. We are back, Schmoeville. What an exciting hour we have lined up here. We are going to talk about that Sony hack. We're going to talk about the Golden Globes. We're going to be doing some Schmoes Choice. But, Mark, we get to do it with a very special guest.
Yeah, me. I'm here back for the second hour. Second one in a row. And we also are very thrilled to be welcoming Comic Book Girl 19.
Comic Book Girl is here. It is so cool that you're finally here. Nice to have you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on.
And it was funny because we had reached out last year because this time of the year gets pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So we reached out last year because we do the U Reviewers Awards every year. Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, and us. And so we reached out, and it just didn't work out that year. But then we ran into each other at the Hunger Games, and we said, "You got to come on and do the show."
I thought she was Katniss. I was like, Kristian, that's the chick. That's the one that shoots the arrows.
Let's get her. So we were so happy to have you here tonight to talk about the Sony stuff.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait to talk about the Golden Globes and some of your favorite movies that you've seen this year.
I made a list. I'm ready.
Okay, good.
Lots of horror.
We actually made the Sony leaks happen so that we could get you on the show. It's a lot of stuff.
You want to see a great face? Watch this. Remember Comic-Con, not this past year, when we were at Hall H and walking through, and we saw outside there was someone in a RoboCop costume, like in the detailed RoboCop.
Yeah.
No, really?
He just fell in love.
No, I remember telling you at the time that's like the craziest thing I've ever seen, and it's also one of the neatest costumes.
And it was legit.
Now, do you go? What was the very first costume that you cosplayed in?
Oh, that's a really good question. You know, I think one of the first times I ever cosplayed was in high school, and you know they had those that week where you can all dress in different weird, those Generations Day and stuff like that. And they had just like be your favorite character day, and I went overboard and I did Vampire Hunter D, and I even made like a Sculpey thing for my hat, and then I got to school and I felt ridiculous because mine was like so over the top and everybody else like wasn't even dressed up. So that was.
Did you go to one of those performance arts high schools or like a real?
No, I did go to a high school though that has like tons of people who became like working artists. Like it's bizarre. Like I know a ton of people from my high school who live in LA now, and I'm from Alabama. So
that's what happens when you give kids a trophy for just competing in sports. They become artists.
I have tons of questions for you before we get into this stuff too, because I'm very fascinated with how you started on YouTube. Because a lot of people out there, by the way, this is something to bring up as we talk to Comic Book Girl, is that we have a fan, Michael Bowie. He's a fan out there, and he wants to know he's really interested. He does what we do. He watches this show often, and he wants to know how to get started and really have your voice out there to get people to watch and listen and become a voice in our space. So I guess we can answer on that, obviously. But while
2 words: sex appeal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. While we have you here, can you give us a little rundown? How you got started? What made you realize, hey, I could do this YouTube thing, and when it really kind of took off?
Okay, I started about a little over 2 years ago. And I just started doing it for fun. It was just for kicks because I didn't really have a lot of people to talk to about comic books. So I was like, I want to just talk about whatever I want to talk about. And my producing partner, Tyson, he does videography stuff. So, we've always been looking for something for him to do that was, cheap and easier to do, that wasn't so ridiculous, because he used to make his own short films all by himself, and it would take him like 3 years to get one done,
Oh my God. Yeah, short films by yourself?
Yeah.
I don't put together Legos by myself anymore.
It was insane. I was like, dude, you got
a lot of patience.
You got to do something a little easier.
Right.
So we tried the show, the Comic Book Girl 19 show, and people just really responded to it, and it turned into a thing. And I think it really popped off when we did our Prometheus review. We did a really in-depth 5 videos.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think they responded so much to that particular review?
I think it's because everybody was just so confused about Prometheus, what was going on, and we really dug to the bottom, deepest levels of why it was the way it was. I read the original Spates script and compared it to what happened with the Lindelof, not script, but his revised script.
Right.
And, and I just think a lot of it came from people just being what? There was a void out there and people needed to know something.
Well,
I got my alien chat.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I also, what I also think that is too. It comes with our channel, with your channel. When everybody talks about movies, the first thing fans do, are they full of shit or do they know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
And if you're
genuine and it comes across,
that's a huge part of it.
And passion. I think those two things. If the fans will smell it right away, and clearly they said your stuff. And they stuck around. So when did you know that, hey, they're sticking around? And because you obviously want to design around what you're passionate about and what you know, but you also want to design around what you think fans will respond to as well.
And 2 years is quick.
Yeah.
Like that's
2 years is real quick.
Really quick.
I'm kind of envious. I'm kind of pissed off right now.
It's been like a wild ride. Let me tell you, it's been like an insane roller coaster. And there's been a lot of really quick adjustments that I've had to do in my personal life, dealing with all these new things that have been coming up at me. But a lot of it, yes, is obviously being genuine, speaking your real mind, not being afraid to like say something that might be, other people might not agree with.
Right.
And wait, what was your other? What were you saying?
That was a great answer. I think it's more than when did you know it was really taking off.
It's just as far as when you're designing like.
Oh yeah. That's something that. Like recently, we've been doing this thing called Throwback Thursdays, where we have an old episode that came out, and we'll be like, hey, check out this episode. Right. And I watched when we put one out, like when they first announced the Star Wars movies. I put a video out about that like a long time ago, and I hadn't seen it in like years. Like it's like 2 years ago or something. Right. I think they put that video out, and I rewatched it the other day, and I was like, where's that girl? I need to get back to that.
Well, why is that? Why did you feel it? What was the difference between then and now?
I feel like, okay, so the first year we were just doing whatever. It was very experimental. Yeah. And then the next year, this last year has kind of been like tightening up and honing and like trying to be more professional and trying to get better at my craft because I have no training in any of this sort of stuff. So it's been a lot of that. But I feel like we've gotten away from the fast and loose, not caring if if I say something that offends people. Yeah. And I feel like we're heading into a very politically correct time, which I hate.
Yeah. Well, because you get the comments as well. It's hard not to think about that.
And that too, I feel like after 2 years, I've kind of gotten past the comments. So now I'm not going to let the comments kind of bother me as much. So I am just going to start being myself.
Troll hunter.
You should have been on the troll last week. We did an Unleash the Troll segment.
Oh man, I got some troll puppets I made. Yeah, they need to come back on the show. It's been a while since they've been on the show. But
we could actually just play the puppets for you if you want.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make some little puppets that look just
Schmoes
like
puppets?
Yeah,
Perfect.
some Schmoes trolls.
Perfect. I love it. Schmoes. There you go. The Schmoes. There you go. Perfect. Let's do Schmoes.
I like that a lot.
Leanne, do us a favor. Make a Schmoes poster with us and Comic Book Girl. That'd be awesome.
Yes. But I always wonder with people who are on YouTube and how hard is it to keep a regular schedule?
There's a C in there, Malone.
For us, it's just me and my producing partner Tyson. So it's like it's just us two people. So for us, it is hard to meet the demands of our audience. Like that's the one complaint we get the most is like you don't make enough stuff fast enough, which is a great complaint to have. But at the same time, it's like, we're really doing as much as we can.
Right. Is that because you're busy? Is why you're not able to put so much out? Is because there's so much that goes into one episode?
Our production value is higher than your average.
Thanks a lot. We're right here. Yeah.
We can hear her. Why is she saying these main things?
And it's true.
Well, it's like you're two guys and some posters over here.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like people compare our show to other YouTube shows where they see it, every day or they get it the next day, and it's like. We do a lot of editing and there's a lot of like post stuff going on, and then doing the robot stuff, like having him on the show is kind of a pain in the ass, and like that slows everything down. So it's like we're working as hard as we can, but it's like because our show is it involves a lot of light. Like every time we got to redo the lighting, and that takes an hour.
It reminds me of Catherine Reitman. Catherine Reitman had a show. Yeah, right. Our old co-host,
Girl with Puppy,
but she had a show breaking it down. That was and. We were on it a couple times, and it was a full-scale production. She put up an episode once a week, and because it was so and remember, it really took a long time to break. I mean, look at Josh McCouga, who does Between the Sheets. So, Josh, you can speak on that a little bit too. Like, because you do a half-an-hour show weekly. And
but the nice thing is, for me, is like we shoot on 3 cameras, so it's shot talk show style on 3 cameras. And my editor basically live edits the show, so we've gotten to like this well-oiled machine, but still like each week releasing a 30-minute episode, and like the QC that goes into it, and the whole operation that goes into it is a full-time job.
Well, and that's kind of what we've been putting out is we've been doing kind of like an episode a week, which I feel is great. Like I feel like for us, like that's really good.
Yeah,
like I'm really proud of us.
But you have to deliver. If you only get one shot a week, it better be kick-ass content, right?
We try.
And what if you want to go on holiday? holidays, vacation.
Well, yeah, that is a whole.
See, I think to answer Michael's original question, it's very simple. You look at a guy like a Makuga, you look at Comic Book Girl 19, you got to be friends with a videographer as opposed to somebody else who wants to hog the camera along with you, which is what me and Kristian made the mistake of doing. So this is now our lot in life.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, so if you had advice before, because I do want to get your opinions on a lot of these movies that we're talking about, if you had advice for some fans that want to start their own YouTube channel and really want to make a living at this, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to obviously try to find a hole where, you know, like there's like a million people talking about video games, you know, like that's gonna be really hard to break into. Like if you can find something that you're really passionate about that nobody else, you don't feel anybody else is talking about, I feel like that is a great place to start. And also, if you do want to get into something like movies or video games where you have a lot of people talking about it, just make sure your opinions are really your own, you know, and be excited about them. And also, if you're gonna do a bedroom blogger thing, don't put yourself right up against a wall. You know, get 5 feet from the wall and like into a corner.
Bedroom blogger.
And like, you know,
like
I just hate seeing people right up against the wall.
Yeah.
It's like that looks terrible. So it's a small, tiny thing you can do. Just get a bunch of
sound.
Well, sound is really important. Like, do not go cheap on your microphone.
Yeah.
Like, do not go cheap on your microphone.
Yeah.
Like, get a good mic because
Kind
bad
of thinking
sound.
the Ellis Diaries, right? Hey, welcome to the fireplace.
Well, we
we
were lucky in the beginning too. When we started doing movies, there were literally 5 people doing movie reviews on YouTube. So we were able to get into that. But I still think, you know, yes, it is a lot harder when everybody is doing, you know, movies and video games.
You can find a niche within that huge
be your voice.
Subject
Yeah, and
that
I agree with 19 as far as you have to really be passionate, have your own voice. Don't try to be somebody else because they will smell that out as well. I do want to get into this Sony thing, but Alicia, I'm going to let you. You have 2 more questions left.
Oh,
so
I'm allowed to ask these guys some tough questions.
We're doing an after-hours show on the 20th, and it's only going to be live. It's not available on YouTube or iTunes or anything, too. And so the guys last week asked our co-host Roxy Stryer a couple of kind of down, dirty, gritty questions, and we figured this week would be fair to have Alicia do it.
We didn't want the guys to feel like they were overpowering the women, so this week the women take back the power. And Alicia has already she's asked me a scandalous question.
She asked me one.
She asked Kristian one. So now Alicia's going to pick from somebody else in this very room something very, very dirty. Alicia, who you got in mind?
Oh boy,
Ken. Okay, I feel bad.
What about that homeless guy with the
homeless guy?
that homeless guy.
She got it pegged right. He is homeless. Yeah. Okay. You got Ken. Don't be afraid. He's not going to take mercy on you on the 20th.
Okay, Ken.
Here you go, Ken.
Choose between me, Maud, Tiffany.
Oh, that's good.
And you have to pick one person you'd like to kiss all night.
Kiss all night.
One person you'd like to have sex with all night.
Nice.
And then one person you'd like to cuddle all night.
Oh.
Is there a difference between those 3 things? Am I not doing something right?
I happen to know that's not how the original question was phrased from Kristian's mouth.
I know, but I've been nice.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
But this is interesting because it's just a one-night proposition for all of these. You're cuddling one, you're kind of spooning one, I guess, you're nailing one, and you're just making out with one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a process of elimination and a little bit of reality. I would choose my very platonic co-host from Jedi Alliance, Maud Garrett, to have sex with all night because I know she has the energy to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to choose that I'd make out with you all night because legally, the only thing I could do with Tiffany is cuddle.
All right,
Good answer.
Now back to our regular schedule program.
Diplomatic.
You'll get one more, Alicia, by the end of the night.
I wonder if Kenny's diary leaked like Sony's diaries leaked. I wonder if we'd read something.
Great segue. Let's talk about that.
See a good YouTube channel. Segue.
That's right. Okay, so let's start with 19 here. We heard about these crazy leaks in regards to the Spider-Man stuff, the crossover with Men in Black and 22 Jump Street, the overall just nasty emails between Rudin and Pascal. Out of all this stuff that came out, what did you take away from this stuff?
I took away that I need to be a big time Hollywood producer one day. This is like awesome. Like I just love how they're just like fucking venting on one another and just saying how it is. And like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I loved it.
But you'd want to be in the middle of that?
Oh yeah.
Really?
No, I want to be the one shanking people with my verbs. It's just like you know this movie's gonna suck. Like I don't know. I loved it. I love the passion that they had, and I feel really bad that like Scott Rudin's having to and Amy Pascal's having to apologize.
Have they been apologizing to?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
they've come out with public apologies for people reading their private correspondences, which I feel like people reading their private correspondences should probably apologize more so than people who are just venting in a conversation with their friends.
Photos.
Right. Well, exactly. I feel like those two, again, it's just you're just venting with your friends, and if that's the worst shit that they found in those emails, that's not that bad, to be honest.
Well, what's the difference? That's a great point. What's the difference between finding and reading those emails or looking at the Jennifer Lawrence pictures? Granted,
one's a lot more fun than the other one for me.
No, but granted, though, very different as far as privacy goes, but yet still private.
Yeah, both crimes.
Both crimes, yet I myself can absolutely guilty of looking at both. And for me, the reason that I think maybe the Jennifer Lawrence ones, that's when you really go, maybe I shouldn't have looked at those at all.
Because you're married?
Because I'm married. But these are different because this is also news that has come out in our industry, and we didn't report on it. It came out, it was reported on, and then we're talking about it now. We talked about it on AMC.
These are like deals too. This is like stuff that could have potentially gone down, and then the fact that it gets out in the public
I do feel
before
bad
it's
reading
ready.
it. It feels icky.
It feels a little dirty.
Well, it's like I feel like I was talking about this earlier outside, where
to the homeless guy,
to the homeless man. I was talking about how in Mockingjay, where she's talking about if we burn, you burn with us, and it's like I feel like that with transparency. Like transparency is catching.
Yeah.
If all of my emails are being cached by the NSA and all the shit that I'm saying, my phone calls and stuff, well then everyone's is, and so you're going to be seeing stuff from the government, leaks from production fucking places and all this stuff, and it's just like that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah. And
I think it sucks because I am a fan of privacy and things like that, but at the same time, if everything is going to be transparent, hopefully we'll get to a point where people start realizing that we're all humans and that we don't need to apologize to everybody all the time.
Right.
And it's just like people.
You know where I think those apologies were going though? Those apologies were going to Angelina Jolie. Those are where I'm serious. Those are where they were going to, because by making those public, it was basically saying rude and going, I gotta now apologize to this woman. I'm sorry.
But that's the thing. It's like it's a high stakes business. Like there's just there's millions of dollars on the line, and people get all caught up in it, and you're venting, and you're just talking shit. It's just like Angelina Jolie's never talked shit about anybody.
Of course she has.
Everybody talks shit about everybody.
Right.
So let's quit crucifying everybody for not saying nice things all the time.
What's going to be really interesting is once they get their new firewall set up, who's going to have the balls to send the first email at Sony, Dear Sir or Madam, hello, how does the day find you?
Well, they can't even email each other right now. We were joking about it today. They're you're telegramming and
sending
yelling out the windows.
Yeah. What do they do?
I do feel like the silver lining in all of this is, even though it is brings up a lot of ethical questions, that everybody's going to be putting the pressure on Sony about the Spider-Man deal. Everyone's give Marvel Spider-Man. Because, on my list of worst movies, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is my worst.
So you're on that side. You hated it. Bringing that up. Now, do you think... the question on the table... This is for everybody, too. The question on the table is... Let's say Sony decides... Because Riley had said it before, too. And I agree that if Sinister Six bombs...
Which it will.
That franchise is toast. But they're having this Spidey summit in January to try to fix it.
Yes.
So the question is, if they do Spider-Man 3, get the right director, get the right writer, can they save Spider-Man 3 and keep Sony in-house?
I think it'd be a miracle. I'm not going to say that it's not possible. I feel like everything is possible. I'm one of those people, but I find it highly unlikely that they would be able to pull that off.
Let me ask you this, I just want to know the perspective you're coming from, because you hated the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Did you like The Amazing Spider-Man?
No.
Do you not like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man?
I don't have a problem with Andrew Garfield.
But it doesn't sound like you love him either, or maybe you just hate the movies.
Well, I like the way he looks.
But you haven't seen a good movie with him in it yet.
I haven't seen him have a chance to do something that isn't garbage.
But don't you think he's capable? I love the first Amazing Spider-Man, and I like the second one. I think that you're one great movie away, kind of what John Campea was saying on MC Movie Talk this morning. You're one great movie away from everybody forgetting about all this crap. If you do knock it out of the park, which I think is entirely possible, especially with a storyline as cool as the Sinister Six stuff, I think that everybody's going to forget about this, and boom, Spider-Man's back.
It wasn't his fault. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I don't blame Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, don't you think you're in more trouble if you try to reboot Spider-Man again from the same studio with the new Spider-Man?
Again, but that is the only franchise they have, so they're holding up.
Well, it's poor Sony. It's they have this ego problem where it's what's worse, to give up on the franchise and admit that we don't know what the hell we're doing with it and give it to Marvel, or continue to make bad Spider-Man movies and then destroy the franchise completely. what, like, and
Batman and Robin.
Well, yeah. Well, that's so funny. I was just watching Batman Forever last. I couldn't even watch it. I had to turn it off. It was so bad. But it's just, it's like, it's, you know, I was doing a bunch of P90X earlier this year, and Tony Horton says something that I feel like Sony kind of needs to know, which is, don't let your ego get in the way. You know, Sony's letting their ego get in the way. It's like, just give it to Marvel.
Well, it's desperate. But it's desperation, though, because everybody else is playing in this game, and X-Men now was on that same path for a little bit.
Yes.
They're not anymore. Now they're saved. Now that it's happy times over at Fox. And now Sony is the odd man out. Yeah. Someone posted a meme on the Schmoeville page yesterday. It was a great meme. It was like you saw like the smart kid studying, and underneath, over top of it, was Marvel, and then the person cheating off them was DC, and in the background, the person kind of chilling in the background was Fox, and then there was someone drowning, and it was Sony. It's amazing, and that's exactly exactly what it is. But I agree with you, and I agree with Campia that if they found the team, if this summit was miraculous,
they could do it.
It could happen. And if you put together a Spider-Man, what they need to do, and I said that this morning, Sony executives need to get the fuck out of Mark Webb's way. Get out of his way. Let him direct his movie.
Well, and that's what it feels like. It feels like it's a producer's movie, and that's why I'm not responding to it, because it just. I mean, like seriously, when I was watching Batman Forever last night, I was realizing how much Electro, Jamie Foxx's character, is fucking Jim Carrey's Riddler. It's the same
he's Eddie
story.
Nigma.
It's the exact
but he's
same
also
setup.
Mr. Freeze.
He's
Mr. Freeze. Yeah, it's true.
It's so awful. It just really made me sad. Because it's like, if you're going to cheat off of somebody, why would you cheat off of Batman Forever?
It's like cheating off of Josh McCouga. You're not gonna get a good score in the. Oh my God, are you still in the room? Let me throw this to the table real quick.
Yes.
Let me say that I'm Sony, okay, and I'm gonna give each one of you guys a shot at making Spider-Man 3, but you're not allowed to sell it to Marvel, okay? You got to make it in-house. What storyline are you going with, Alicia? Let's kick off with you.
Oh, well, someone doesn't know anything about comic books.
Comic Book Girl 19, let's start with you.
Oh gosh, I thought I was gonna have some time to think about this. You know what? And this is something that they would never ever do in a million years, but this is something that I think would be like the total most awesome in the whole world. Is I really enjoyed the story arc recently that Dan Slott put out, where it was Superior Spider-Man, where Dr. Octopus switched brains with Peter Parker and took over Parker's body.
I'm a fan of brain switching in movies. I'm on record as saying that.
If they did a storyline, like if they did one movie to set it up and then another, Superior Spider-Man, I would be so excited, because I feel like Peter Parker is a little tired right now, and even Marvel is kind of showing it, where you have Spider-Gwen is huge right now, and in that Peter Parker's dead. There's Miles Morales. He's huge right now. He's not Peter Parker. You have even Spider-Man 2099 has his own thing going on. And even, there was another thing too. Oh yeah, the real Peter Parker of the Marvel Universe is Kamala Khan from Ms. Marvel. She's in high school dealing with having superpowers, hiding it from her parents. She's dealing with all the same Peter Parker stuff.
Right.
And it's like Peter Parker, I kind of feel bad for him, because he's kind of like, nobody knows what to do with him.
Well, you know, one of the main things, my biggest problem with the movie was the shift in tone, and too many villains. I thought what they could have done, and they did that especially in Batman and Robin as well too. What you could have done in this movie, in Spider-Man 3, the Raimi one,
exactly.
What you could have done, or what I'd like to see done, just focus on Spidey and one guy. The Dane DeHaan stuff was great.
It was. But they just rushed that so quickly.
Right.
I wanted to see him become Green Goblin.
Look out, Spidey! There's a stupid rhino.
So who's the guy then? Because and I'll let you go right after me, because I think you're going to turn into Studio Harloff and you're going to shut me down here. It's because no, you should if this can't happen.
I don't like what you like.
Can this? I know you like it. It's a question of, is it legally able to happen? It's because there's a character that made his first appearance in a Spider-Man comic book that I happen to be a big fan of, who's also having a little bit of trouble getting a good movie made.
Venom.
That would be the Punisher.
Well, no, that can't happen. Punisher. Because
Studio Harloff.
Well, because it would have happened a couple years ago, or could have happened a couple years ago, but Marvel got the rights back to Punisher. And there's a lot of teasing. There's a lot of teasing of Punisher. They said that in Captain America 2, there's a van that saves Cap a couple times, and the Russo brothers kind of tease a little bit that was the Punisher.
Do I need to watch that slow mo?
Just watch the director's cut.
Okay, but they're
commentary.
Short of some sort of studio miracle happening, I got to go with Spidey versus Venom. Is one of the coolest things you could see on screen if they don't do it like they did in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3.
Well, Sam Raimi didn't want to do Venom. He was just forced to do it, and that's why he wasn't that good.
Got bullied again.
But
Sony's
that
been
seems like
bullying
could
for a
be
while.
interesting, Venom. That whole...
People love Venom. I mean...
He looks awesome.
He's fucking cool.
Riley, you're a big Spider-Man guy. You're a comic guy. If you could save Spidey, and you're a writer, if you could put one movie out there that would try to save Spidey, what movie would you put out? What would you like to see them focus on?
You mean other than Spidey?
Well, no. Spider-Man.
That's an answer.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man doing. And did you hear the question on the table?
No, sorry, I was doing some schmo stuff.
Okay, so the question on the table
with a girl.
Yeah, the question on the table is if you could make the next Spider-Man movie to try to save Sony, what would the angle be for a Spider-Man? What would you like to see them focus on?
That's what everybody at the Spider-Man Summit is going to look.
Yeah.
Look, if you're listening to the show right now and you're going to that Spider-Man Summit, you're a big-time studio exec at Sony, I want you to walk in there with some energy. Get a workout in that morning. Have a Red Bull.
What if every single person was like,
That's what they're all doing right now.
We need an idea, man.
The best storyline has been Gwen Stacy and Green Goblin, and
that's over.
I do kind of like the clone, the clone saga, but that I don't know if they could go there.
Get some Scarlet Spider action.
Yeah, some Scarlet Spider. I don't know if that could work.
Yeah.
I would say, give me Kraven the Hunter, and do a standalone movie with Spider-Man, just Spider-Man. Fuck all this shared universe bullshit.
Right.
Give me Kraven the Hunter.
Wow.
Give me Kraven the Hunter coming out like down and dirty. He comes out and he goes, this guy's a menace. You know what? I'm going to hunt him. He's a big game hunter. If you guys aren't aware of Kraven the Hunter storyline, he goes after Spider-Man. It's a great story.
Right.
You could cast it well.
What do we think about tone? How's the tone going to be then? What do is it a little more dark? Is it a little more light? I mean, how do you save it as far as tone?
It doesn't need to be dark because that's not Spider-Man. That's like Batman. You know, like dark, like Nolan, like that works for Batman.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for Spider-Man. But at the same time, I feel like the tone of the Amazing Spider-Man movies very much feels like the tone of like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, which doesn't work either. You know, it's just like.
So if you could mimic it, if it was
just
Marvel,
have fun though. That's my thing with comic book movies. Is like, you know, again, everyone suffers from
more like
Dark
Guardians.
Knight-itis.
You think Guardians tone?
Yes,
okay.
yes, more of a fun.
And Andrew Garfield's proven in those first two movies that he's great at cracking jokes and having these funny, sarcastic asides.
No one-liners anymore.
It's great to see funny
ones. The one-liners were awful. I know Spider does
but they have to be better. They have to be better. I agree. Okay, so I want to move on a little bit from Spidey and the Sony thing because I want to talk about the Golden Globes here and get some of the nominations, and we can also get into some of our favorite movies Comic Book Girl's favorite movies that she's seen because we're going to put out our list pretty soon. Ken, you have the nominations. We don't need the TV ones. We just need the movie ones. Do you have those in front of you?
Yeah, getting them up now.
The Golden Globes is pretty much Hollywood's version of the Schmoes Know After Hours show, right? It's just like, hey, let's all just get hammered and make asses of ourselves on stage.
And
Amy Poehler and Tina Fey hosting this thing is the reason why everybody cares about these nominations because they're so good at keeping that ship afloat.
Now, Alicia, you have certain thoughts on the Golden Globes?
Yeah, well, doing what I do at the press junkets,
which is kicking ass, taking names, and rating mini bars.
And lots of hugs. I'm on the International Day when I work for Australia, so I'm with a lot of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
They're crazy. Why is that?
There's so much, so many politics that goes into that organization.
Do you think they can make a good Spider-Man movie?
How many people are in the foreign press, and how does one get into the foreign press?
I think there's 90-something members, but if you want to get in, all you have to do to qualify is publish a couple of articles a year. And it could be like on your blog, could be anywhere. But
put my name on a couple of your articles.
And you're supposed to be foreign, but there are Americans. There's an American who goes under Australia. There's an American who goes under Germany. There's a lady for Russia who's never been to Russia.
So wait, I can just pick Japan and just be
really
Japan's person?
And then you have to get nominated. You have to get nominated by two people in the organization. You've got to campaign for it. It's very political.
What do you say about that?
But they get perks.
Well, they also say that people go to Golden Globes because it's the party of the two. Between that and the Oscar, people go to get bombed at that thing.
Yes, and at these press events, they all take photos with the stars, and then they all accept a lot of gifts. In my opinion, if you're voting for an award show, you shouldn't accept gifts from studios.
And that's why The Tourist got nominated a couple years back.
Well, because the rumor is they wanted Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie to be at the telecast. That's why people were surprised that Unbroken didn't get any nominations, because you'd think they'd want Angelina Jolie with Brad Pitt on the red carpet because it looks good for television.
Well, they read
it's
those
all
emails.
about the TV.
Yeah, they read the emails. They don't want Angelina and Julie there. Now, before we get to Ken reading off, I'm going to let you do your last question right now. This is the last one of the night. So, because I want to get into, because I know we're going to get into the Golden Globes now, and then the movies, and then Schmo Plus. So let's get
Schmoes Choice. Yeah. Now, yes. I want to put some filth on this, and I want you to really go.
It's like top 5. Put some stank. That movie's really good, by the way. If you haven't seen Top 5, go see it. It's one of the funniest movies of the year.
I'm a man in Houston.
Okay.
So fun. I'm the man.
This one's for Makuga. I know you're weird about this because we've had this discussion.
Yeah, he likes a finger in the butt.
As Riley's rubbing his chest.
Jesus, that came at the wrong moment.
Riley ran about that, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I would say I have a lot of money.
Okay.
And I will pay you $10,000 to cup Riley's balls.
Wait, over the pants or?
Wait.
Actual balls?
Actual balls.
10 grand.
How 3
long?
seconds.
How long?
No,
3 seconds?
5 seconds.
5 seconds for 10 grand.
5 seconds for 10 grand?
Is it also like
cupping.
pictures and stuff like that too?
Can we release that on the
do it in
internet?
private.
Oh, you do it in private.
That's even weirder.
Can I have some of this money?
No, Riley doesn't get a piece.
No, Riley should get an agent's percentage.
I get 10%.
10 grand ball
Has Riley
coverage.
showered?
Yeah.
Yes, Riley showered.
Wow, you're really giving him a nice,
delicious and smelling good.
That's what my girlfriend said.
5 second 10 grand ball cuppage.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna.
Oh, come on.
You're not gonna.
Merry Christmas! I'll do it,
I'm getting my balls cupped.
I love what a mature crowd we have because we all just gave him a round of applause for
cupping
saying
a man's
he cupped a man's balls.
I thought you'd say no.
No, it's funny. But if push comes to shove, I'm not touching
If I can just throw this out there real quick, Scott Rudin, if you're out there listening, Scott Rudin, please come on the show. You're gonna have a great time. Forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, and come downtown to
I will
Schmoeville.
high five you, Scott Rudin. I will
Damn
give you
right.
high fives.
And Makuga will cup your balls.
Yeah, you know what we're gonna do, guys? Is we're gonna
Gentle
do, and
cupping.
we'll do it with Comic Book Girl also. Comic Girl. We're gonna have her talk about. We'll do tweet a celebrity. What we do is we pick a celebrity's name out of a hat, and then we have everybody tweet them out, and Schmoeville goes nuts and tweets them out. And we've gotten a few celebrities.
Are we
on the show
playing that tonight?
We're gonna do it a little bit, but I want to talk about the Golden Globes. Ken, go ahead, read us off some. Let's hear some of these nominations. We'll stop you when we want to talk about some of these things.
All right.
Stop.
This is the awards. Don't
Birdman
mean
got
anything.
7
They mean
awards.
something.
Okay, Ken, we didn't ask for this attitude when we let you read
Best
it.
drama,
Best drama,
Boyhood.
Boyhood.
Try a story arc. Foxcatcher, like The Office better. Imitation Game.
Come on,
don't do it.
hold on.
I
What,
like
Selma.
The Office better.
All right, so Selma,
The Theory
Foxcatcher.
of Everything.
Right.
Foxcatcher, The Imitation Game, or is it
The Imitation
Yeah.
Game
Imitation.
and Boyhood.
Okay, and best dramas.
I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, really?
I'm a jerk.
Okay,
You're not a jerk. You're a hardworking gal who's friends with a videographer and has a very successful YouTube channel and has kick-ass hair, by the way,
That's
which
true.
we haven't commented on yet.
These things are all true.
For me, this is an easy play. This is one of the easier categories. Now, I will say that I haven't seen Selma. And I got
Selma is
confirmation today.
incredible.
Me and the mom are going to go see that on Christmas Day.
It's
So
great.
maybe we get to review that eventually. In the meantime, I got to give this to Boyhood in a landslide.
Yeah, I think if Birdman was in that category, it'd be a tougher fight. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that that Boyhood will probably win that.
Yeah, I'd say Boyhood as well, but Selma is incredible. I give it to Boyhood just slightly, not
And
a
you've
landslide.
seen Selma.
I've seen
Yeah.
Selma. Selma's an incredibly made movie and really powerful, very moving.
But-
and it missed out on SAGs only because they didn't get
That's
the
what I
screeners
thought.
in time.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I knew. I figured because everyone. Was talking
that
about
happen?
He got slighted just like because Gyllenhaal had made it in for Nightcrawler. Did you see Nightcrawler?
I did see Nightcrawler.
So good,
Yeah.
so good. And that wasn't nominated for best drama.
No.
No, it was
No.
not. You got the other ones. You had The Theory of Everything. You
The
had The
Imitation
Imitation
Game.
Game and
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher, which
They
I
were fun.
all thought were good films with
Really
great
good.
performances in them. So once we get to the acting categories,
Yeah.
they could start taking.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Boyhood for the
performances-
achievement, I give it to Boyhood.
Right.
Such
That's
achievement.
really what it is. I was talking to Roxy Stryer about it before the show, and she didn't really love the movie. But what I thought that movie accomplished, and I just watched it like 2 nights ago, what I thought that movie accomplished, it captured life
Yeah,
because
it's
it
a
was over a
slice of life.
12-year period. But it just not just because obviously it was that duration of time, but what it captured the way you looked at it, the way you saw this kid grow up, but also the message of family and watching the adults grow up. Yeah, so
I like the way you say captured life and boyhood because you sounded like Ron Burgundy. It captured life.
Captured life and the news. Let's go into the next one. Ken, what's next?
Best comedy is
best comedy. You're on.
Best comedy is Birdman, The Grand Budapest Hotel. As a Wes Anderson fan, I can tell you that's a travesty.
Ooh, wow.
Into the Woods, Pride,
Into the
St.
Woods.
Vincent.
Into the Woods. What was the one after that? Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, Pride, and St. Vincent.
What's Pride, Alicia?
Pride is a film from England, and
it's a swimmers movie like 3 years ago. It was about the black swimmers that weren't allowed on the team, right?
It's about the gay march. It's really good.
Okay.
It's inspiring
There's
and it's
another
really
Pride
funny
movie.
at the
Okay.
same time. I haven't seen St. Vincent yet.
St. Vincent I enjoyed as a
What
comedy.
the hell is Into the Woods doing in that? Just because it's a musical?
because it's a musical.
Here's the crap that happens.
Where's 22 Jump Street?
I don't understand Johnny Depp's outfit in that. I don't.
Luckily enough, he's only in it for about 5 minutes.
Okay, good.
But because he's
really
distracting.
confusing.
And
He's
Meryl
distracting.
Streep got her 29th Golden Globe nomination for that.
Yeah, that actually to me was the bigger travesty than the movie getting nominated because I can see the movie. It's this big production piece. You have an ensemble cast. It takes fairy tales in a different spin.
But it takes away from two comedies, though. That's the problem, though. Is it because you have 22 Jump Street that should have been nominated for comedy, and Top 5, which is one of the funniest movies of the year, if not the funniest of the year, was also not nominated.
Top 5 really got screwed. I think 22 Jump Street, you can at least make the case that because mainstream comedies never get nominated, which is crap to begin with. But
It's always a weird category. I don't even think that Birdman is an out-and-out comedy. It's dark comedy.
I mean, it is
It's
a dark
drama.
comedy, but I mean, if I had to pick one, and I didn't see a lot of these films because I'm not a big comedy person. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but although I did enjoy 22 Jump Street, I usually it's bizarre for me to see a movie like that, and I really liked it. Tyson was like, "We gotta go see it," and I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Wow, this is really funny."
It delivered it because it didn't take itself seriously, and it poked fun at
that bad trip part was like that sealed the deal for me. It was like starts dragging Joni Hill starts dragging him down with his bad trip. It was hilarious, but Birdman, man, it's just amazing.
I think they just threw Birdman into this category because they could, because they had any outlet, which is the same kind of thing where I think the Lego Movie might be one of the best movies, comedy or musicals, but because there's an animated category, they don't have to worry about.
That's horseshit, though. They should do double, though. So you Lego, one of your favorites?
Oh yeah, it's
What'd you like about it?
Oh God, everything. I love the message about it. I love it's talking about creativity in society and the place for that, and how and talking about like corporations, like like I know a lot of artists and stuff like that, and they do a lot of like fan art stuff, and then they'll sell their prints, and it's like then you have Disney or Marvel coming and being like, you can't sell your prints or whatever, and it's just like they're not hurting you, they're helping you, like they're not. It's fine. Like I don't know. I really loved all the shit that was going on in Lego Movie.
I loved Lego Movie because I remember when we saw it, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what to expect when we saw that movie, and it was one of the surprises as well. Ken, what do we got next? What's up there?
Best Director.
This is a good category, actually.
Wes Anderson, The Grand Budapest Hotel.
We didn't see that. Why are you so? Let's talk about that with that disdain. In your voice.
Reason I'm a writer.
Yes.
The reason Matt Key and I write is Wes Anderson.
Yes.
I live by that guy. This guy is now very aware he's Wes Anderson. This movie had no heart. It had no attachment. He and I saw it together. He and I saw it together. We walked out. We haven't written since.
Well, what do you say? What do you?
Wes Anderson for that?
We haven't written since. But what do you say? What do you say to people who love that movie? Because
that's great. It's a free country.
But there's been a. I'm going to tell you right now that I just tweeted something that's amazing. So Finstock left his mask laying around. There is a girl here at AfterBuzz that found it and cut it with a scissor.
Oh yeah, that's real.
I just tweeted it out. So look at the tweet that I just put on the Schmoes account.
Actually cut it?
We'll find out. Finstock scream in agony in the hallway.
Now, in the meantime, Kenny, give us the other 4 movies for best director.
Best director. Wes Anderson, Ava DuVernay for Selma. David Fincher for Gone Girl. Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, Birdman, and Richard Linklater, Boyhood.
Man, that is
a tough category.
You hear Gonzalez, and you're like, there's no way that anybody can beat him for Birdman because that whole movie was like one continuous crazy shot, and then you remember that it didn't take 12 years with a little bit filmed each summer. That is a 2-horse race, and my God, that's fierce.
And then you look at Selma, and that's such an achievement, right too.
But you think that Selma, you think she's got a shot to go up against those two?
I would love the statement it makes if she won, but I'm gonna go with Inarritu.
I wonder if Nolan is sad that nobody.
No,
it was
Interstellar only got best original score.
Did you enjoy Interstellar? Is that on this green piece of paper that you're hiding from me?
It's on my honorable mention list. I really liked it, and I really loved a lot of the ideas behind it, and the space porn in it was just amazing. And like I wept when I saw Saturn and stuff. Like it was like a good experience. But there are a couple flaws that keep it from being on my top
I think
list.
he's going to miss out on all those nominations, not because it's not a well-directed film, but because Gravity took away a lot of the punch that those space scenes had, because we got to see that for the first time last year. So now it's not as new as it might have been.
Well, and it's also the whole it's his 2001, and he's also doing something that's already been done by Kubrick, which that's a hard act to follow in my opinion. You know.
All right, so I do think that it's going to come down between Linklater and
who you got?
Alejandro. I think because of what Linklater did as an achievement.
I'm with you.
I think they're going to. It's hard not to appreciate someone who accomplished 12 years of work.
I know, but then when you look at the way the film,
I agree with that.
Though,
from what Birdman is shot in such an amazing. That took 12 years, and to be able to make it all happen, the category of directing. Of what a director is able to accomplish with his acting, with the way that the film is shot, with the story.
The style.
He does it all.
I know
he did it in 12 years.
But the other movie was one shot. I mean,
but it wasn't really one shot.
I know that, Kristian, but the way that it looked, and you could never tell that. It was really cool.
Was it filmed? I can't remember. Was it 2 weeks or a month that they filmed Birdman?
It was only 20 days.
That sounds like a feature Finstock
really insane schedule. So it's kind of like the insane tiny schedule versus like the 12-year schedule.
Yeah, that's why I think 12 years gets rewarded, because if you look at it again, this is what they did that's kind of smart, is that you can make everybody happy here, because you can give Best Director to Linklater, and you can still give Birdman a prize for Best Picture, and you can give Boyhood a prize for Best Picture too. So I think that's a smart split to have.
Well, our old pal George McCann writes in, Whiplash and Inherent Vice were snubbed for writing, direction, and Best Picture. I will agree with George on one and disagree with him on the other. Whiplash to me should have been writing, directing, Best Picture. That's that movie is out of control good.
I need to see everyone's
it's so good. It's just one of those movies, and I'm
glad JK got nominated.
Yes, but you have to also give it to the director as well, to what
Damien Chazelle.
Oh man, the intensity of that movie.
But I want to thank Inherent Vice for something too, because I got a good 10 hours of sleep last night, and my God, thank you, Inherent Vice, or as I call it, Sound of the Whale.
Yeah, our review was up on that one. I really love Paul Thomas Anderson. This is his worst out of all the movies that he's done so far.
And I didn't hate them. I didn't hate the movie. I thought the performances were great. I think that there's aspects of it that really show what a tremendous filmmaker he is.
I liked it more than you guys.
Yes.
Oh, I just could not get into that movie.
Yeah,
I tried.
Right, but it's still an accomplishment as far as a film goes, and the acting is great. And I think that some people, if you really dig the humor, might get it, but it wasn't for me. All right, Ken, what else do we got?
Best Actress in a Drama, Jennifer Aniston, Horrible Bosses 2.
No.
Felicity Jones, The Theory of Everything. Julianne Moore, Still Alice. Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl. And Reese Witherspoon. Weath for Wild.
I think this is Julianne Moore.
Yeah. Still Alice.
Yeah.
I saw it
Has
last
anybody
night.
at the table seen? You've seen Still Alice?
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah. And is this the best performance of her career?
Yes.
Hands down.
Yes, she's just heartbreaking. It's about a woman who gets early onset. Yeah, she's a linguistics professor, and she gets early onset Alzheimer's. So she loses her words, which are things, and it's a rapid decline.
That sounds like a
and
crier.
It's told,
It sounds like I'm gonna cry at that.
It's told from her perspective as well, and you just see her deteriorate throughout the film.
That's like my nightmare. Like that's like my nightmare.
Yeah.
Like is losing.
I think it's going to happen to me because I have the worst memory.
True. Okay, so I think everybody. Do you anyone else think that someone else will win that, or I know we haven't seen it yet?
Rosamund Pike got out there so far ahead of everybody because that movie came out early, and so sometimes
she was great.
Sometimes some of that cools a little bit, and I think
she was so awesome that I was Gone Girl for Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw it. You have a video on your channel as well too. Check that out. What's your the YouTube link so everybody knows?
YouTube. It's like YouTube/ComicBookGirl1919.
Look at that video because you look just like her. It's crazy. And do the wide eyes. Do the crazy eyes. It's so good.
And
You want to talk about a body of work? I'm going to give you From RoboCop to Gone Girl.
Yeah, it's good.
Impressive.
Yeah, and Tyson was Ben Affleck, and he just had a big Ben Affleck mask.
Dancing and stuff, right?
It was
really
so
good.
funny.
Really
It was so good.
All right, so that's and then what about? So what do we got next? Ken, we have actor next.
Best actor in a drama: Steve Carell, Foxcatcher; Benedict Cumberbatch, The Imitation
This
Game.
is a tough one.
Jake Malone, Gyllenhaal, Nightcrawler. David Ole, how do you say his name? Agent Callus from Rebels. Selma. Eddie Redmayne from The Theory of Everything.
Ooh, that is competitive. Now, this is the one that I wish I'd seen some of the most for, because, and as we're talking about this, wow, we got a great new film coming out. The new movie from the Schmoes Know.
Trolls. I'm retweeting it right now. Okay.
Thank you, Leanne. That's great. Now, I think Selma, I think this could be the one that it wins.
Yeah.
And I think that for some reason, I think that Eddie Redmayne and Benedict Cumberbatch are going to kind of steal each other's votes a little bit here, because they're both playing historical figures and they both got a lot of praise for it. They look the same. I just think that neither one of those guys are going to win because they're so competitive.
I don't think he's going to win the Oscar, but for Golden Globes, I think Carell's going to get it.
It's like, are all of them real people? Because you got Foxcatcher.
All 5 actors are real people.
Yeah, they're all real.
Playing real people.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, Nightcrawler, that's fictional.
Oh yes.
Correct. No, I know people like that.
Although poor Gyllenhaal.
How could I forget about Gyllenhaal?
He wants it so, but he's trying so hard in that one, and it's like I would love to. I don't know. I'm kind of pro Gyllenhaal. I don't have a problem with Gyllenhaal.
I love Gyllenhaal.
I have no problem with him. But it's like he seems like he's had a hard time getting roles, and he's kind of been in and out of doing stuff.
See, but here's my answer to Carell real quick, is that I think that Carell, he might win this one. And I think that the reason why he's not going to win the Oscar, and the reason why he might not win this one, is because sometimes it's just such an achievement to get nominated from where you were.
Right.
He's coming from a very heralded but a very comedic background, okay? This is a guy that was Noah Almighty.
Yeah.
I mean, and now he's nominated for a Golden Globe. I think that might be enough to where they give it to somebody else.
David.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see it yet, so.
Comedians can play like the darkest, saddest, weirdest characters.
Yeah.
They're nutcases.
Comedians
look at the trailer for Little Fucker. That's true.
Such depressed assholes.
It's true.
Little Fucker got nominated for Best Musical Category.
I'm sure it did.
Yes, it did.
All right, now I know we have other categories, but I'm gonna move away from Golden Globes for a second because I want to get to Comic Book Girl's list. You have a list that you brought us. Give us your list. These are the movies that you.
These are people you'd sleep with, and then people you'd cuddle with.
Right. No, but I almost want her to ask an after-hours question before she leaves. But why don't you go ahead and tell us your list?
The Babadook.
Yeah, the things that you saw.
Yes, it is.
I haven't seen the Babadook. Is it good?
Oh my gosh, I just saw it the other night, and
Amazing.
it blew my socks off. It was
wow,
crazy.
everyone's talking about that movie.
So my top movies of 2014, I narrowed it down to 8 top movies. The Lego movies on there. Birdman. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Jodorowsky's Dune, I loved.
Oh, yeah.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I was super surprised at how awesome that was. Babadook and Gone Girl.
Wow, it's Gone Girl on top.
It's on my top.
Wow.
It's like a personal thing because Rosamund Pike is like my shadow self. Like if I was evil, I feel like I could be Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike is evil.
Yeah, well, Gone Girl. I guess Amy Dunn. I guess I should say Amy Dunn.
Right.
But yeah, and it was just for me, and it was good.
It's a good list.
And that's like the Babadook.
Yes.
I want to ask about that movie because I love horror movies.
Watch it today.
I haven't seen it. I got a text from Cobster who said that I got to see this movie. It's out now if it's playing in the theater.
Cobster, would I like it?
It's on demand.
It's on demand, which is what I hear. Which apparently Harloff was over at my place today, and Jeannie is over here. Couldn't figure out where it was on the TV.
I didn't find it.
I couldn't find it either.
I found it on Google Play and on Amazon.
Yeah, it was on DirecTV at one point. Now it's gone. But okay, that
and it's scary. Is it scary? Is it going to keep me up?
Well, I had a nightmare about the Babadook showed up in my dreams.
That's all I need to know. That's all. I don't want to know anything about the plot. That's all I need to know.
But that's after I did an episode about it, and I was really thinking about it that whole day. So it was in my consciousness.
I like to get in your skin a little bit.
So it got in there, and I was really surprised because I woke up I was like, this is scary. But
you don't want to see it.
But the Babadook, when going into the Babadook, you need to know that it's a metaphorical movie. It's not a literal horror movie.
Yeah.
And I'm already kind of in the shadow self stuff. I've been really thinking about that this year. Is one of my themes this year. And so for me
I need to have a theme this year.
No,
we'll start next year.
You don't need to hurt yourself.
Schmoeville, tweet in what is going to be me and Kristian's theme for 2015.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Pretty good one. Coors Light's my theme every year.
But yeah, it's a metaphor for dealing with your shadow self and like dealing with these like negative feelings that you have, whether it's grief or whether it's stress or whether it's whatever it is,
the darker side of yourself.
And then confronting it, seeing it for what it is, and integrating with it and respecting it and doing all that.
Wow, you sold me on it. I've been wanting to see it for a bit. I've heard great things.
I'm really shocked by the people who don't have empathy for the main character Amelia, who's like this woman who has this problem child. You know, her son Sam is like, and she's a single parent. You know, she's a widow, and it's just like she's dealing with this crazy kid. And I did a video about it, and I was shocked at how many comments where people were like, "Fuck her," and it's like, you guys really don't have any empathy for this character, because I feel like her a lot.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have a kid, I have a show. You know, and I've been doing a calendar, and like those have kind of been my children, and like they are kind of problem children at times, where you're just like,
I carry around an egg like a high school kid. I just carry around an egg, and that egg is my baby, and I've had 37 of them, but I still love that damn egg.
Well, the fans are like, this is a lot of fans are also loving Babadook. A lot of tweets about it. The people who have seen it are
it's just there's not. I love horror movies, and there just really hasn't been a lot of horror movies that have been coming out that have been impressive. It's like Annabelle,
The Pyramid, Ouija. Okay. We are going to also now, before we go, we're going to play a game that we have here called Schmoes Choice. So what JTE will do is JTE is going to give us two choices of movies that you will maybe love, hopefully love both of them, but you can only choose one. It's like
Sophie's Choice, or it's like the end of The Good Son, where you got Macaulay Culkin, you got Elijah Wood, you got to drop one of them.
Drop them off the cliff forever. They're gone forever.
Okay.
So JT, let's start with Comic Book Girl. Why don't you give her a few?
Well, that's not fair. I just told all my favorite movies.
Well, no, but this is of all time.
Of all time. Okay.
So JT, are you ready?
I'm actually going to start off with a future Schmoes Choice. So these are two movies that are coming out in the future, and you have to choose which one you will see and another one you will not be able to see.
Ever.
Do you see Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2 or Suicide Squad?
That seems
good question. Now she has. I'm looking at her list. She has Guardians of the Galaxy 1 in her honorable mentions category.
I'm gonna have to go with Guardians of the Galaxy.
And never see Suicide Squad.
Well, just because Suicide Squad, the only reason they're making it is because Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like they see the success of that, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna put together a ragtag team of anti-heroes.
But they put together a good team so far, actor-wise.
The DC cinematic universe has yet to really impress me personally. Yeah. So I know that with Marvel, I'm gonna get something that's awesome. With DC, it's kind of it may be terrible. It might be good,
but why take the risk on something that hasn't proven itself yet?
Yes.
Got it. All right. Well, Ellis, give Ellis a shot.
All right, Ellis. These are two films that are sequels that are actually most people will say are better than the first film.
You will refer to me as Dr. Ellis on this show.
Yes.
Do you take James Cameron's Terminator 2, Judgment Day, or Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Man! Wow!
That's a toughie.
That is rough. And so I can't continue the franchise? You know what?
No, you got to cut it off.
This is so weird, and my inner child right now is going to hate me. The egg that is little Mark Ellis is going to hate me. But I'm going to get rid of T2 because that franchise, now that I have the perspective of being in 2014, I know that those movies don't really pay off the way T2 did. What a great theatrical experience. But Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I got to see where that goes.
I have to be honest with you, the fact that you want to see the monkeys flying around, it makes me
Arnold, it's not personal. It's a decision.
It's not fantastic.
Why do you cast Edward Furlong as the kid?
I didn't cast anybody. I sat there and said, "What do we want to be in there?" I said, "Get the kids doing the heroin. That's fine with me."
All right, Alicia, let's go with Alicia Malone.
All right, Alicia. These are two films that are based on military novels on true stories. Do you take Lone Survivor or Zero Dark 30?
Ooh, that's a good one. I liked both those movies. I go with Zero Dark 30.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Why?
What was that?
I don't. Why? Because
bit of attitude coming from here.
Did you say that because there's a woman director?
No, it's not. If you give me a chance,
go
to
after her, brother. You're gonna say something. Let her talk. Have a nice.
No. Go ahead.
Gave you the hand to the face.
Alicia, there's a reason
the guy director will never win over the female director.
Can I say something? There's a reason why.
It's not true. It's not true at all. I thought that Zero Dark 30 had much more depth to it, and it's got so many more interesting things to say than Lone Survivor, which was very much America.
Okay.
Now, Alicia, look at him and do the Matumbo. Yeah, you don't come in her house. That's why she's up here and you're down there cupping Riley's balls.
All right.
That's trendy now, by the way.
JT, give one more to me.
Your mom's so proud.
One more to me, and then we're going to give one more to Comic Book Girl.
All right, Kristian, these are 2 films directed by David Fincher based on books. Do you take Gone Girl or The Social Network?
Whoa.
That Gone Girl really grew on you, huh?
I'm going to have to say Social Network, just because I appreciate Gone Girl's ending. I didn't love it. I understand why it had to be the ending. I just didn't particularly love the ending.
And you love Farmville.
What the hell is that?
It's on Facebook.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
You know that shit your mom sends you?
Yeah.
I
got 4 farms.
I have no idea. All right, let's get one more for our guest, and then I have one more thing I want to do. So
all right, here we go.
Yeah.
These are 2 rated R comic book films.
Ooh,
one was a hit, one's a cult hit. Do you take 300 or Dread?
Ooh.
Oh, Dread.
Yeah.
Dread, totally.
Right over.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right, give her another one then. That was too easy.
Too easy? All right. 2.
Come on, give it to me, JT.
Another 2 comic book films are rated R. The Crow or Kick-Ass.
Oh, that's a good.
That's a tough one.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
thinking kind of sense of humor and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're very different.
Because like the 90s are coming back, so like I'm kind of getting in that 90s thing lately.
I could see you cosplaying as Hit Girl or the Crow. By the way, I think you could pull off either one.
Oh yeah, no, that would be fun.
Erica Draven.
But I guess I would have to say Kick-Ass, just because I like the fun of Kick-Ass and I love seeing fun. And there's not enough of that in
Kick-Ass
movies.
is going, and Matthew Vaughn's so good.
Yeah,
Okay, before we go, now Alicia, you got to ask 4 questions, but you don't get off the hook. So we're gonna let you go with one before you go. And this is a preview to the After Hours show, which is gonna. She asked 4. She gets 1 before she goes. So you have everybody's choice in this room. You can pick anybody you want. You have a one-night stand. You have a weekend of crazy sex in Hawaii, or you have a full passionate relationship for a year.
So wait, one-night stand.
One-night stand, passionate
Hawaii
romp,
vacation,
and then a passionate year romance with.
But then it's over after a year.
Yeah, and then it's over after a year.
Okay.
So and Finstock's included in this too. His mug is in
I don't think he's getting. I don't think he's getting anything.
I'll let her think about it as we say thank you to our guest. Thank you so much for finally joining us. And you got to come back, please.
Absolutely.
Where can the good kids in Schmoeville find you?
You can find me online. My website is COMICBOOKGIRL19.com. I have a cosplay calendar on sale right now, so if anyone is interested in that sort of situation, that's going on. But yeah, and on YouTube mainly, youtube.com/comicbookgirl19.
If you ever need somebody just to be like in the background of one of the shots, like let's say you're the Wicked Witch of the West, I could be one of the flying monkeys. I'm just putting it out there. I'm available.
Next year, if we decide to do another one, I want to start getting more people involved.
Let's do it. And make sure you follow. By the way, guys, let her know whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching it tomorrow on YouTube. Make sure you tweet at CBGirl19 and let her know how much you enjoyed having her in Schmoeville.
Yeah, tell me.
Mark Ellis, this is your last show for 2014.
Oh my God, it's like a wave of emotion, Kristian. It's all hitting me at once. Make sure if you guys are in the Nebraska area, or hell, you know what? Fly there. You're not doing anything next weekend. Come see me at the Omaha Funny Bone December 18th through the 21st. You will not regret it. Then Nashville, I'm going to be there for New Year's, December 29th through the 31st at Nashville Zanies.
And Mark and myself will be on Between the Sheets with Josh McCouga. That'll be. Make sure you subscribe to Casual Mafia on YouTube. Make sure you check us out there. That's all right. You check out Mark Riley. Check out Ken Knapsack. Check out schmoesknow.com. Get you all your news there. Very important. Alicia, take us out with your answers, and make sure you follow us, Schmoes Know Movies on Instagram. Brand new account. Go there, Schmoes Know Movies.
I followed today.
Thank you,
Alicia. Who are you stripping?
One night, Mark Ellis.
One night, Mark Ellis.
I get sweaty. Josh McCouga.
He
gets to go to Hawaii?
Relationship, Ken Knapsack.
All right.
Kenny boy.
There you go. When we're on the after show, you're going to get more detailed answers as to why, but that's just a preview. Make
Enjoy
sure you
my
check that out.
seconds, boys.
I feel a little jealous. That wasn't included in this.
Next, maybe you do the after shows. You do after shower show. We'll talk about it after the break. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the Schmoes Know Movie Show. Back next week. We're going to have Screen Junkies on. We're doing movie fights on this show. Mark and I will also be on movie fights on the Popcorn Talk Network. Check it out for Schmoes Know Movies. Peace out, Mother F's.
Bye.
From producers Kristian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes Know crew, we'd like to thank you for listening to the Schmoes Know Movie Show. Promotional consideration provided by the slap Alicia Malone will give to Josh McCouga after the show. And schmoesknow.com. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, in stores now. To watch or listen to other Schmoes episodes, get movie news, and join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesknow.com. I'm the Pit Boss, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes